Special guest John Rourke in today. Said it right?
Yeah, sound like the truck backing.
Thank you for coming in, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Man of many things.
Yep.
Army.
Yes.
4 kids. Hands full.
Yes.
You got a big day coming up. Anniversary's coming up.
That's right. Tomorrow, 14 years.
And then you have, 14 years. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And
she
then,
loves me, man. I love her. She's something.
Congratulations. And then Bluelinemoving and storage.
That's right.
Congratulations on that, too.
Thank you.
As well. It's going well. So, when you get into, before we get into everything.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about Brady last night?
Sure.
You think he's the GOAT?
There's undoubtedly. I think he's the best sports player to play any sport.
Glenn, who do you think's the GOAT?
I don't know. It's Brady, but Aaron Rodgers too. But no one can beat Brady. I'll tell you that much.
Right, it's Brady. I mean, it's not even.
It
is Brady.
If there was a Brady Rodriguez, that would be different.
My other engineer, he's Marino.
Yeah.
He says Marino or Montana.
I don't disagree. I just actually had this conversation today. I said if Dan Marino played for the Patriots and Bill Belichick, I don't think for a second that he wouldn't have as many rings as Tom Brady does.
Right.
Dan Marino is an animal. An animal. And it's easier to play in the NFL now as a quarterback or an offensive player because of the rules being changed. So they want more scoring. They want more yardage. They want more big plays. So it's designed for that to happen. That wasn't like that when Marino, all the quarterbacks can't get hit, can't take it below the weight. All of those things didn't exist hence why Dan Marino walks like a robot now. But
right. But if he would have had the line that Brady had.
Oh, come on.
And then Belichick's just a beast.
But you know what? We can't talk about the would-haves.
Right.
Brady, he did it.
He's the GOAT.
And that's the end of the story. Like,
he's the GOAT.
Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl and didn't win.
Brady,
it is what it is.
2? Brady lost 2, right?
Yeah, to the Giants.
Yeah. Remember that one in 2009 or 10?
David Tyree catch.
Yeah.
Which was nuts.
And then the last thing before we get into all your stuff, you think Epstein killed himself, or no? You don't think Epstein killed himself. What do you think about Epstein?
Oh, I think he killed himself, or I think he did not kill himself.
Did not kill himself.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, I agree with you. 100%.
100%. I mean, the 2 guards that were there. Supposedly watching after him, they, got in trouble. They had to go to court. Like, something's going on there. Yeah, I mean, like, dude, come on.
Listen,
what are we talking about here?
There's 10 million cameras in there.
Please.
There's guards in there.
Come on.
And then a guy like him would always be in PC because he's high profile.
Yeah, paper sheets. Like, that, the whole 9 yards, man. No shoelaces in your shoes. The room's not big enough for you to even really hang yourself from anything. Like, it's designed for you to not be able to kill yourself. I thought it was going to be COVID that got him. I thought that was the 100% certainty. Like, he's going in a jail. Everyone gets sick. It's a jail. Like, for sure he's getting COVID. 100%. But they had better plans for him, apparently.
And then they put him with, like, a macho man in there.
Yeah.
The huge guy, perfect setup. To me. No way.
There's no way that dude killed himself.
Completely agree.
I mean, I don't understand how you could think that he did.
Maybe your elevator doesn't go all the way to the top. Maybe, possibly. Right?
Come on, bro.
Yeah. No way. And he had too much information. They had to get rid of him. Had to.
Bro, he had a picture of Bill Clinton in Monica Lewinsky's dress, a painting of him in his house.
Yeah.
That's not like your buddy from college that you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the president of the United States. Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a painting of him wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress.
So imagine what else
at his house.
Imagine what else he has in that database.
Oh, come on.
Forget
the database that it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. It just fell off and he's a very intelligent guy, as if he doesn't have backup on top of backup.
Come on. I mean, he's a billionaire, man. You're telling me this guy didn't say, if something is to happen to me, this will get released? Like,
well, we haven't heard from the girl. The girl that was with him, she fell off the face of the earth.
Of course. You're talking about, what, Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yes.
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine, yep. Her, yep.
How long she got?
I don't know.
I didn't think she was going to make it this long, to be honest with you, but I think they said it's too obvious. Like, if she goes too, then it's clear. Like, dude, they're having them killed. So, I don't know. They must have something on her because no names have been. Now, she did come out, apparently, and say that she's willing to cough up these names or something, or some people that were involved, because it's like she got arrested and is going to jail, and it's currently in jail, obviously, but for facilitating men to be able to sexually abuse minors. But where are the men? Like, she was convicted, so it happened. So where are the men that were involved?
Well, they don't want that.
She's in jail, but where are the dudes that actually really like got in there and were doing it? Like, she was obviously part of that as well, but we don't hear anything about any of the men that did anything. But yet she's in jail for something happened. She is going to jail for that. She's in jail for that, right? Like, so where are the guys?
So, in other words, something obviously happened because she's convicted. So then, therefore, like you just said, where's the arrest of the people of what she's convicted for?
Yeah.
That she was like the organizer, per se.
Yeah.
And
where are those people?
We'll never see those people.
I mean, someone's going to have to fall on that sword.
I know. I had gotten that. I had somebody in, and I got in the flight records, and the names on there, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I saw Lady Gaga was on there.
I saw the whole flight list, too.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's a lot of surprising names on that list. It was hard to read it and believe that was really true.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like they say Donald Trump's, name was on the flight log. But then, I was told the story that Donald Trump's plane was being serviced, and Jeffrey offered the plane to be able, for him to fly from New York to Palm Beach. They obviously both live on the island. This is pre-Trump knowing that Epstein was a scumbag. And it's just one billionaire to another. Of course, hey, use my plane. It's already up in New York. Boop, boop, boop. And now you're on the flight log.
Right.
So that could be the same for a lot of people. But where's the flight log going to that island, though? That's the real flight log.
That's the real flight log.
If you're on that flight log, then there's something is going on there.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you would only go to that island for one reason.
Yeah.
You're not going there to talk business, right?
You can go to any of the islands in the Caribbean to see crystal, clear water and white beaches, bro. They're Bahamas, or you can go to Bimini and get that, dude.
Yeah.
And take an hour and a half boat to you're in Bimini and you're getting the same thing. So, like, come on, bro. You know why you're going there.
Yeah. And every one of them had money, so it's not like they couldn't have their pick or choice for where they wanted to go.
100%. I mean, these are the most powerful people in the world. Whatever they say they want, they get. It's a yes always for them, anywhere.
Now, what made you start Blueline Moving and Storage? What gave you the idea to start that? It's a competitive field.
Yeah. So this is the whole story with Blueline is I used to work for the old owner back in the day, and he had a moving company. Then it was called 50 Moving and Storage. He was a retired cop, NYPD, Jupiter cop. I used to work for him as a mover before the Army and all of that. And so I knew the business from, being a mover and just kind of understood it a little bit. And then I joined the Army. I retired from the Army. And he approached me about buying his business. So he went through some personal stuff, lost 50 to his ex-wife, started Blueline. And then, he'd been in the moving game at this point when he approached me about, potentially taking over the business and buying it from him. He'd been in the moving game for like 25 years. He's like, dude, I'm fried. I'm done.
You're worn out.
It is a lot of work, man, and the way that he ran the business, he was on every job, on the truck. Like, so that is even harder, especially if you're an older guy. Like, moving furniture sucks.
Yeah.
It just does, bro. Like, there's no way around it. It's not fun, right? But it's good, solid work. You know what I'm saying? The guys that work for me make good money, but you got to put in the effort, But so he sold me the business. And, we kind of just changed everything. So it was older trucks. There weren't a lot of systems in place for, just basic operating systems, clocking in and clocking out, sending people invitations to work, like not like texting people, hey, can you work 3 days from now? Like, sending them an invitation through Google Invite saying, hey, do you want to work? Yes or no? Oh, no, you don't? On to the next guy, and that's kind of how we do it. So kind of just really started the business from scratch the way that I wanted it to be. But, obviously there was built-in income into the business because he had established a great name for himself and did good work. So a lot of people were, still calling for Blueline. But it was a really good story for me to, coming full circle, having been a mover and now being able to own the business all these years later. The guys respect me. They know I've done every move that they've done. the crazy cat lady where, dude, you're on a move and it's like, it seems like it's never going to end. All her furniture's covered in cat hair. You got to go up, down a flight of stairs or up a flight of stairs and you're sweating and it's on your face and you're just like, oh my God. You're starving because you haven't eaten lunch all day because the job's taking forever.
And you're thinking, why the fuck did I get into this business for that minute?
Why the fuck am I doing this, dude? You're over it. Physically over it, you know what I'm saying? So I've been there a million times. The double parking in New York, the elevator's broken, it's on the 12th floor. Everything needs to come down the flight of stairs. Like, dude, nightmare. People are honking at you. Dude, get your truck out of the... Constantly having to drive it around and repark. And, dude, nightmares. Long walk. Like, dude, like a half a mile walk from the building to where the street is.
Fuck, you tell me, I'm surprised you're not walking around with a flask all day long.
Dude, seriously, bro, it's nightmares, and the people always have to be out now. It's like it's in a rush. Like I gotta get this closing, or I was backed up. Do people need me out a day earlier, or whatever? So it's just it takes the toll on you after a while. And he was just like, dude, I'm done. I want to move on to something else. And he moved on. I took over, and I've kind of streamlined a little bit. Got more involved in technology and social media. They were older people running the company. They did a little Facebook, but they weren't hip to the social media, Instagram, all of that game. So we're younger and we're kind of running it that way and getting a lot of media buzz, and for some of the stuff we do in the community and for coming out as a conservative business. So really just kind of building a brand where it wasn't just like, hey, we support police. Like, millions of people support police. Like, we actually support police, but then we really support them. Like, we go out and do cleanups and then donate money to police departments. You know what I'm saying? So,
which they need more now than ever.
Oh my God, the defund the police movement, the disrespect. Like, my dad, was NYPD for 20 years. Rest in peace.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, man. It happens. It sucks.
December 12th was what, 7 years?
Yeah, man. It sucks.
Sorry to hear that.
It
was rough. I had a rough
2014, man.
Oof. It's
your old man, man.
Yeah.
It's your old man, dude.
When my mom went, man, I was paralyzed for 2 months.
Sucks.
It just sucks everything out of you like nothing else.
Yeah, man. And then, he didn't get to see my sons. Yeah. He didn't get to see this level of success. You know what I'm saying? He saw me while I was through the Army, man. He loved every minute of it. But he didn't get to see me doing what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? So that sucks. But he sees me from up top. You know what I'm saying? He's watching down. Crazy thing is I'm remodeling my house right now. I'm turning my attached garage into a living room, and it's about done. And I have a metal beam that's has like wood around it in the now living room. And I was walking to the couch and I was about to sit down. And I looked up, and on the beam, the contractor wrote 271 inches long. The beam. My dad was the commander of American Legion Post 271 for like 25 years in Sequesta.
That's crazy.
So I looked up, I saw 271, and it immediately was like, holy shit. Like,
it's like, is there a fucking ghost in here or something?
Bro,
right?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't have been 272 or 270. It was 271.
Yeah.
That's what it was, bro. So,
doesn't that freak you out when shit like that happens?
Dude, it freaks me out.
Whoa, I've had that happen too, and it's kind of like, ugh. And I just relate it to a deja vu or something.
Yeah,
like
you're just like
dimension or some shit. I don't know.
You're just like, wow. Like, another thing happened to my dad once before too. So, when I bought the house, we bought it with like a gator, like a one of the carts you drive around.
I thought you bought 4 alligators when you got 4 kids.
Seriously, like one of the John Deere gators. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So dude, 2 months after they buy the house, the thing breaks down, right? So a little bit down the ways from my house, old guy repairs them and sells them in his front yard. He has a for sale sign, and he always has these John Deeres. So we had like a 2-row John Deere gator with a dump thing, and I saw it and I was like, oh dude. I pull off, I go in there, I ask him, how much. He has a hat on. He's old, about my dad's age, and he has a hat that says KR. And it was on Father's Day when I pulled off the side of the road to look at the golf cart gator, whatever, and my dad's name was Ken Rourke. So I'm literally staring on Father's Day at KR right in my face, and it's just like,
so that's two. That's 2 now.
Twice now. That's the second time. And it's just like, dude, I don't really believe in that kind of stuff. I do kind of, but it's just like, it's hard to not notice it when it's literally staring me in the face. It could have been any letters.
Any letters.
Could have been any numbers.
I swear.
But it wasn't, though. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's so weird.
I think at the very least, the energy lives on somehow, some way.
Something, man.
Because things like that, people say there ain't no coincidence, in my belief.
Me too.
And I have an open mind, and I respect anybody's opinion,
Sure.
but I don't think coincidences just happen.
Me either, man. It has to be.
It has to be. To me, I think I think the energy lives on one way or another, and that's one example of it.
Yeah,
I really
man.
do.
It's really crazy how that happens, man. But it's like, whether you believe it or you don't, like, it makes you feel like, inside
he's there and he sees it somewhere.
Yeah, man.
And I
It's
think
crazy.
that's great for society. No matter what you believe, it's
Yeah.
good. It's a good belief to have.
It is. Why not?
Why not? Because
Why
nobody
not?
fucking really knows. The bottom line is nobody knows.
No one knows, man.
And the
I don't care
reason
what
why
you say.
nobody knows is because we're not meant to know.
Correct.
So whatever it is, it is. So you live your life the best you can, do
Yep.
the right thing, and
I
that's
totally agree, man. It's just one way or the other.
That's it.
We all gonna end it someday. We're all dead, and you'll find out then.
Yep. When I was looking at your website, you do a lot more than just moving things.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I saw pressure washing.
Yep.
I saw if you're moving from one place to another, wherever it is, you clean too.
Sure.
So if we look at the website, you have, it's not just Florida. So people that are watching, if you're listening,
Nationwide.
Blue Line Moving and Storage.
Yep.
It's bluelinemoving.net. You can go under services, and they got local and long distance moving, professional packing and unpacking. So you guys will go into a house and pack up the whole house.
Whole house. We'll pack it up, clean it, move you, clean the house before you get into it that you're buying, move your stuff in, unpack you, and then sometimes people want their stuff cleaned again with like all their items, lamps and everything on tables. They want that wiped down from the move. We do that too. Bulk trash removal is always like a big thing. People always have stuff they want to get rid of around moving time.
That's got to be big, the cleaning. I would think that would be huge.
People love it, man.
And then you do the trash removal, and we're going to get into that heavy. And then the pressure wash, the professional pressure washing. Now, do you pressure wash like anything?
Sure.
Like cars,
whatever you want.
Concrete, whatever. So you'll come wash cars.
It all started, like, I have another company called All American Sanitation. I have a garbage company to go along with the moving company. The moving company is really my main focus. But part of the All American Sanitation is we bought a pressure washing trailer that cleans waste bins. So like steam cleans the inside of garbage cans.
Oh, cool.
And then from that we got into like commercial pressure washing. So we pressure clean about 30 Publix plazas from like Boca to Vero Beach. So we got into doing that through cleaning dumpsters. Hey, can you pressure clean sidewalks? Of course we can. Okay, next thing you know, we're doing plazas. So not too much residential cleaning, but if the people want it, obviously we have the ability to do it. So I'm like, hey, you want me to pressure clean your driveway before you move in or right after you move in? Let me know, the roof, whatever. So we do that. And
that makes a huge difference. I had that done to my driveway, and I couldn't believe
night and day.
It was what color my driveway actually was after it was done. Because it looked just like a Florida driveway, kind of brownish, and then I had a pressure wash, and it was like Alaska.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It is, and roofs too. Like a lot of the HOAs, you have to have your roof cleaned. If you don't, they start leaving notices.
You do houses too? Like you'll do like all around the house?
Around the house, driveways, patios, whatever, anything.
That's big.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big business. It's never going to go away,
And then when you say bulk trash removal as far as this, not the things that you've done. So you'll come in and just tear up trash that's in the house, or can you elaborate on what you guys do with the bulk trash removal?
So like people have like dressers or armoires they want to get rid of, or something's a desk that's broken, doesn't fit in the new house. We'll get that removed for you. Washer, dryer is broken, you're getting a new one, the washer and dryer's got to go. We can remove that for you too. Anything that's big and bulky that a person owns a home wouldn't necessarily be able to take care of. We have a dump trailer. We can come by, throw your stuff in the dump trailer, and take it to the dump for you. It's kind of like a concierge, really. That's what it's kind of morphed a little bit into, especially with a lot of the higher clientele people that I have. They want stuff done, and they want to get it done by someone that does a good job, does what they say they're going to do, shows up on time, answers the phone, returns emails. Like, we're talking about the freaking basics.
Like
here,
the simple basics of running a business
Dude,
successfully, right?
It is insane. The amount of people are like, I can't believe you answer the phone.
I know.
Like, this is great.
What do you get the most? I bet you it's, wow, your communication is unbelievable, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I get it in my day job, because I actually fucking answer the email.
Yeah, and I snap return the messages on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Like, as soon as I alert them, it's like, why would I wait to respond to that? If I see it and I can respond, I'm going to respond. Like, it's all about getting to the customer and understanding what they want as fast as possible. Like, they're messaging you. Obviously, they need something. Respond to them. That's it.
I think the book was written in the 1400s or 1500s. It was Nicolas Machiavelli, and he said the most important thing is availability. There was a big war, Machiavelli. Have you ever heard him? Really good book. The Prince.
Yeah, of course. It's Machiavelli.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's like the way to live by. If you would you rather be feared or loved, all that shit.
For sure.
But the one big thing, and he was talking more war, but I apply it to business and everything else. Number one thing is availability, because while other people are sleeping, you're available.
Correct.
And that's how you have the advantage. And in the book, he was referring to that in war, where while other people are maybe partying or doing whatever, he's aware, he's available. One of his soldiers need him, he's available. Availability.
Correct. Your best ability is availability.
Right.
That's 100% correct, man. Especially with higher end clientele, when they need something, they want it yesterday. And if you can deliver that to, whatever that is that they want, if you can get that to them when they want it, they're going to, that's going to be, what else can you do?
And then they work,
the next question.
And then you're their guy.
I'm their guy.
And then they don't go anywhere else. But if you don't, there's 100 other people that
there's always
a
guy that wants to be the next guy.
Yep.
So you got to stay the guy.
You got to stay the guy. And you change the trucks from white to black, which are badass.
Yep. That's the last truck right there that you're looking at. That's the last one that we have to get wrapped. And then she'll be matte black too. But all the other trucks have been completely swapped out.
And then we got your Instagram here.
Yes.
Scroll down with this one, Glenn. So here we got, that was Newsmax up there on the right. Go back up, Glenn. That was on Newsmax. There's the new trucks. Click right there, the second pick.
Yep.
Click on that. Badass trucks.
Hell yeah, man.
Now we're talking business, right?
Bro, they're mean.
Mean.
They're just
Beautiful.
tough. They're mean. They're blue line. They're police. They're military. You look at that truck and you're just like, damn, that thing looks badass. That's who I want to move. I want that truck pulling up in front of my house, not a freaking U-Haul or a Penske.
No, and it pops.
Yeah. You know how many calls I get for business-wise for people calling because they saw the truck? Yeah, a lot. Way more than I did before. Because I had a guy that found me from doing like appearances and like news stuff for the cleanups from Baltimore in 2019. He's a cop up in Connecticut. In Hartford. He was off duty, earning overtime, sitting on the highway in Connecticut. And, you see like FHP on a construction zone. They're just parked there with their lights on. He messages me I never really spoke to him. He just started following me, and he messages me and says, hey, bro, I just saw your truck in Connecticut on 95. I was sitting in my cop car, and he's like, it was the first truck that we got wrapped, and it was the first time it went on the road, and I was already getting people from Connecticut saying, bro, I just saw your truck drive by me. I didn't realize it was you. I just looked at the truck and thought, damn, that was a badass truck. It was the Kenworth that we have. And he was like, then I realized, bro, Blueline, that's the guy I follow on Facebook. And he messaged me, and now we talk all the time. And he's like, look, I'm looking to leave Connecticut to come down here and be a police officer. And I'm trying to get him in with PBSO because, my sister's there, and I have a bunch of friends that are PBSO, but he's like, I'm ready. I got to get the hell out of Connecticut.
I thought what was interesting, what I read that you said it was either in a interview that you did or in an article or on one of the 5-10 stations you've been on.
Yeah.
And you had said that, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might jumble this.
Sure.
So if there's 10 people that move to Florida, there's 2 or 3 moving out to like Georgia, South Carolina, the mountains, because of all the immigration coming in. For every 10, 2 or 3 are moving out.
Yeah, because
that's serious numbers.
Bro, that no one talks about that, right? So like I'm a moving company. I know about that life.
Well,
for sure.
You're fucking moving them.
I'm moving them, right? So this is what's happening here. Is rich Northerners are coming down with cash, right? Because you're selling a house that's like a $400,000 house in Florida. They're selling for $1.1 million in New York. It's freaking nuts. So they're coming down with cash. And you have all these Floridians who've been living here for 30 years, 40 years, bought a house when it was $150,000, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, and they're selling their house for $950,000 now. It's been paid off. Now they're putting $1 million in the bank. They're going to North Georgia. They're going to North Carolina. They're going to Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina and North Georgia, like in that circle, and then a lot in South Carolina. And they're buying $300,000 ridiculous houses in the mountains.
With yard.
Breathtaking, 10 acres, 5 acres, just a view that's ridiculous. They're 10 to 12 hours away from Jupiter, South Florida, drive. And they're like, whenever I want to come down to Florida, I'll just VRBO a house, get my fix for a week, and then drive back up to the mountains.
Oh, so you think they're doing that because of the value of the house that's here? I was thinking it was because of the immigration coming in.
It's
or the combination, maybe?
It's both, but in reality, man, it's the money. It's like they're getting over asking cash.
Listen, I know what my house is worth, and when I look it up, I know for sure that the $200,000 more that's on top of it, I think it's like $300,000 more now than when I bought it 3 years ago. Yeah, listen, my house is not worth $300,000 more.
It's not.
So my question to you is, being in this business, when does this pop? Because it has to.
No,
it has to pop.
This is California. It will pop when a Democrat gets elected governor. That's when the pop will happen. If DeSantis gets reelected, there's not going to be a pop here.
But how do you sustain these prices? Like, how do you do that?
How has California done it for so long? You got to keep the taxes low. People are getting forced out of Palm Beach County now because property taxes are retarded. Because the home sales are going through the roof, which is driving the property values up, which is driving the property taxes up, and liberals run Palm Beach County.
Mine was double. This last property tax was double from last year. Fucking double, man.
Yeah, so if you sell your house here in Palm Beach County, you can't move back to Palm Beach County because you can't find a home to buy. And if you can find a home to buy, it's way overpriced. So these people are like, well, where can I go? If I sell my house here, I have to leave here and go somewhere else. Like I sold my house in Jupiter Farms and moved to Palm City because I see the writing on the wall. It's like the amount of money that I sold my house for was retarded based off of what I know that house is really worth. And I saw an opportunity to go to Palm City, which is 24 minutes north of Jupiter, way less taxes, no mandates in Martin County. There was no mask mandates. There's none of that. When this first popped off in Martin County, people were coming from Miami to party and drink and go to restaurants in Martin County because there's nowhere to go in Palm Beach or in Dade or in Broward without a mask or someone in your business. You know what I'm saying? Martin County was nuts, man.
No, and for people that aren't from here, or if you're listening, Martin County is like there's like a red line.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go to Martin County, make sure you don't do nothing wrong because they don't fuck around in Martin County.
And Martin County Sheriff's Department does not play games. They will chase your ass.
They will chase your ass. It's not like the rest of South Florida.
No, man. They don't play games there. The sheriff definitely does not play games.
Yep.
He's
got to clean. It's clean though.
It is what it is, man. And that's part of the reason we moved there was we have 4 kids.
Great for kids.
When we were in Jupiter Farms, the kids went to Jupiter Farms Elementary School, great school, but I can't have my kids with masks on their face. I just couldn't do it. So we pulled them out and we homeschooled them, and then our kids were able to get accepted into an academy up in Martin County, and that doesn't have mask mandates. So literally, my kids have never wore a mask this entire time. All for never, not one, no mask for them. We said, F this, dude. My kids are not wearing masks.
Well,
I know they don't work. I knew from Jump Street. It's impossible. It's an impossibility that they do not work. Everyone knows they don't work. But in the government, if they didn't come out with masks, right, what else was there?
Nothing.
So then the government gets accused of not doing anything.
Right.
They had to do something. And the something was, well, wear a mask. That we could run with that. That's something that, if you think about it, you're like, of course. Like if you were sneezing and you sneeze into the mask, that makes sense. Common sense would think, it must do something. But we know now that it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Unless it's an N95 or something designed and fitted. Like doctors and surgeons and nurses, they go through training to fit it perfectly because they also know not to touch their hands to their face.
Right. They're professionals and they've done a
way of
gazillion
life.
years of school, and they know not, if they touch something, don't touch anything with the membrane, lips, nose, ears, because you're going to get shit.
Exactly.
And that's not for the pandemic. That's for any type of disease.
Yes, man.
You know?
Like, but if you put a mask on your face and you've never done it, the only thing you're going to do is touch your face.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing you can do.
And then, like Louis Vuitton came out with the mask, and it's a cloth mask.
Yes.
Now, what the fuck? Now it's cloth. So what happens with cloth? If I have a bucket of water and I put that cloth mask in water, it absorbs it. And now I have a wet mask on my face. So if the pandemic comes into the mask, my guess would be hypothetically that it would absorb it.
Yeah.
But it certainly isn't going to protect it.
Hey.
It's just science.
Yeah. Hey, what about
you? Do with nothing.
What about you? I'll do like Joe Biden does. What about your eyes?
Oh. Well,
what if stuff gets in your eyes?
Well, see,
are you going to get sick if someone sneezes and it goes into your eyes?
Well, he's got to make sure his eyes work because his eyes are so pinned all the time. They got to give him eye drops so he has somewhat of a dot there.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he's pinned, boy.
Bro,
and they're more pinned.
There's only so much pinning you can do to an old man like that before the ticker starts to say, hey,
they're pretty fucking pinned, man. I mean, they were pinned a year ago, but you look at them now.
Bad.
I mean, they're like fucking, they're like fucking like a stone.
Chocolate chip. 2 scoops.
Yeah.
It's my wife, Joe Biden.
Oh,
it's my wife. You know my wife, Joe Biden? You're like, is he saying Joe? Is he calling her Joe Biden? Because it sounds like he's saying, this is my wife, Joe Biden.
I knew he was done for and completely lost it. And you almost start to feel bad for the guy because he's reading the fucking teleprompter and it says end message.
Ron Burgundy.
Like there's no more message. And he reads end message.
Yeah. Hey, let's go, Brandon. I agree. I agree.
Now, can you imagine if Trump would have done that? It would have been fucking worldwide fucking news,
dude.
And they, Fox.
Trump can't drink a fucking Diet Coke.
I know.
Without them thinking, that's it for him. He's drinking too much Diet Coke. Must be in bad health.
Oh, he's in bad health. Yeah, well, he went to Rocket Man after he called him Rocket Man, like a man in balls, and met him one-on-one and got more respect than anybody.
Went to his turf, bro.
By himself.
Stepped over that line.
Man.
Right to the dude's face and said, bro, it ain't happening here, bro.
After he called him Rocket Man on national TV time and time again. And what happened is Kim Jong-un respected the fuck out of him.
He's a man. Of course he did.
Right. And now 2 men were men and got together peacefully.
Yes.
And Kim Jong-un wants his country to be like here. And that's what Trump was building. And you never heard another thing about him.
Nothing.
Putin, he knew what to do with Putin. Putin knew Trump was not to be fucked with. Putin was his thing.
Man, you get me, man.
But am I right or wrong?
Bro,
am I right or wrong?
Listen to me, man.
Respect gets respect.
There are families of soldiers who fought in the Korean War. Their family members never came home. Their entire lives, they never got to receive their dads, their uncles, their aunts. All those soldiers, the forgotten war, legit forgotten war. Donald J. Trump got a lot, if not all of those service members' remains brought home.
Yes, he did.
No one talks about that. Do you understand
the
significance of bringing home a service member's his being, like his life? The dude died for his country and has to remain in that shithole country until this president comes along and says, not on my fucking watch. I will go there and personally deliver the message on his turf to him. We are bringing these service members home because if you don't give them to me, there's going to be real problems for you. And that's the end of the story, bro.
See, now for me, I relate to that, and I can't understand it because I wasn't in that life.
Imagine your dad just never coming home. But you just never get that closure.
Right, but you and Glenn in the military, it's like a whole brotherhood with you guys.
Man.
So when you guys are together forever, no matter what. So when he brings them back, that's a fucking big
dude.
Big
it's a
deal.
big deal, man.
And it's not easy either.
It is not.
It's not like he just woke up one day and got it done.
They've been there since the war. So hell yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. But you know what? I guarantee you, none of them ever asked.
No.
When Obama was the president and Trump was taking over, Trump asked him, what's the greatest threat to the United States? And Obama said, North Korea. And Trump said, have you ever tried calling the guy to like work it out maybe? No. What do you mean no? Have you ever picked up the phone and called him and said, what do we got to do to fix this, man?
Let's just have a normal conversation.
Let's have a normal, what are you looking for? Because obviously you're looking for something. Let's have this conversation, right? But they don't want to have that conversation because that's not, they're not businessmen. President Obama was a lawyer and a neighborhood organizer before. If you ran a giant corporation like I run a small business, I would not hire a politician to run my business. I would hire a businessman to run my business. The United States of America is the largest business in the world that exists. It employs the most people of any business that exists, right? So why in the world would you ever have a politician run that business?
Just a smooth
talker. Did they
talker.
Ever do anything good?
No, he was just a smooth talker.
Right?
Smooth.
So
you got to give that to him. Obama was a smooth talker.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, he was good.
100%.
He had me.
Yeah, he's the lawyer.
He had me. Well, I want him as my lawyer. I'll take him as a lawyer any fucking day of the week.
That's the thing, man. It's like we finally...
Maybe, probably not. He wouldn't like me because...
He definitely would not like you.
No, I don't think so.
No. So, but that's my thing is like businessmen ask business questions and do business shit. Politicians think about what can I get for myself. It's like Obama buying a house on the ocean in Martha's Vineyard, but telling us that the oceans are rising and Miami might not be there in 10 or 15 years. Oh. But then he buys a house on the ocean. So what is it? Is it that the oceans are rising or is it that they're not rising? Right? So what's going on?
Like John, all somebody has to do, which nobody does anymore, is just take a book, like a real book, and just read the history.
Yeah.
Okay? The planet has changed temperatures like this forever. Yeah, are we adding to it whatever percentage?
Sure.
But before there was cars or whatever the people before us were doing, they were polluting shit too, just a different way.
Yeah.
If you look back for the last however many gazillion years, it always happens. It gets hot, it gets cold.
There's no question about that.
The ice things, the
polar ice caps.
Polar ice caps. I'm sorry, it always changes. All you got to do is read a book. It's facts. It's written down.
The polar ice caps are supposed to be gone by now,
right?
But they're actually larger than they have ever been, or maybe close to it. I don't know, but I know that they're larger now. They're not melting.
No,
it's bullshit.
No, and even if they did melt, it goes along with what has happened.
It's not because I ate a steak.
No, it's not because you ate a steak.
Because
it's not because you're driving a fucking car.
Listen.
Listen
to me, right? So
I'm listening. Go
ahead. If they say that the methane that cows produce, that's what's bad, right? AOC is like we got to stop eating meat, right? Because the cows.
I didn't hear that one. Oh, that's the new one.
The cows, when they shit, the methane, that's what's destroying the earth. Less cows. But we have to eat less meat, so we're less dependent on them. If there's less cows, there's less shit. If there's less methane. But what about landfills?
Yeah, what about landfills?
What comes out of landfills, though? What's that gas that comes from landfills where you drive by a landfill, there's constantly poles coming out of them with fire on them, constantly burning? That's methane gas that they're producing, right? So why hasn't she ever said, why are we still burying garbage in the ground still? John. We literally are sending people to space. We have like pictures. We're sending, machines and robots literally to like other planets. And we're still taking trash, dumping it out of a truck and pushing it into a pile of dirt and then putting dirt over it. Right? But you don't hear a single thing, any politician ever mention anything about waste management or Waste Pro or Waste Connections or any BFI or any of these giant garbage corporations, right, that are literally burying garbage, creating methane gas because they pay for these political people to keep their effing mouths shut, bro.
Exactly right.
And I'm not knocking the hustle, okay? But don't tell me that I need to slow my roll on eating red meat because of the world, because of the earth is being the polar ice caps are melting because of the release of methane gas, but you don't ever talk about garbage or landfills or any of that. What about the leachate, which is the water that drains from landfills, where does that water go? Landfill juice.
Exactly.
Where does that go?
And John,
no one talks about it.
In my opinion, that person taking that money, that's not their fault. That's their hustle. It's the leaders that should not be allowing it to happen.
Yes,
right?
bro.
And now this was going to get your real route up. What about the fucking ocean?
Yeah.
Throwing all this trash in the fucking ocean?
Dude, China literally has bulldozers and bulldozers trash just into the water.
We don't even know what's in the ocean. We can't even get down deep enough. Octopuses are
aliens.
This close to humans. They have feelings. They cry. I mean, dolphins. I mean, these are fucking, basically humans.
Did you ever see dolphins get caught on a fish? You ever went out fishing, deep sea fishing, and caught a dolphin on a fishing pole? I've never seen it happen.
I've never seen it happen.
Why?
Because they're smart as a motherfucker.
How could that possibly be that as many times as I've gone fishing in the ocean, I'm from Jupiter, as many guys I've known, I've always asked them that question, fishermen. Have you ever went deep sea fishing and ever caught a dolphin on a hook? No. Bro, what?
Octopuses, dolphins, and there's a couple other ones. If you read about them, they're right with humans.
Yeah,
Just because they can't talk and walk, that doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean shit, bro. But we, right, as Americans, need to set the example for China. This is what they tell you.
Yeah.
We got to set the example. We need to be the shining star. They're literally pushing garbage into the ocean in India. Like, if you can't control what India and China, the biggest polluters that exist on the planet, are going to do with their pollution, we're going to take a backseat on energy and be dependent on the Middle East because we want to reduce pollution here in the United States, but we're going to allow China and India to get stronger. And we're friends with India, allies, but China and Russia, right? It's like we're allowing Iran, allowing them to get stronger using oil, right? When we're going to try and use wind power or battery power.
What about the pollution that battery does?
Bro,
when you start researching it, there isn't even enough batteries to, even if you wanted to make the country all battery cars, there's not enough batteries. Or electric cars, sorry.
So that is actually causing physical damage to the earth, right? That's real. That's real damage. What is actually digging those holes?
Yeah.
What bulldozers? Backhoes. All that equipment, dump trucks, huge diesel engines, just none of that shit's running on solar power over there. They're physically blowing up the earth with TNT and dynamite and all these things and destroying the earth to get to these natural resources that they're putting in batteries, right? So the physical damage that your Prius actually caused to mine that, I could drive a Corvette for 100 years and not put off the amount of emissions that the heavy equipment used to mine the batteries that you have put into the air.
I was going to say pretty much the same because I read it.
And the physical damage to the actual earth itself.
And the animals. Because,
of course.
Because, every animal feeds off another animal.
100%.
Prey, predator.
Yeah.
When you start blowing shit up like that, you're fucking up their
ecosystem.
Their ecosystem, yeah.
100%. So no one talks about that.
Nobody talks about that, but it's a big fucking thing because what happens is then, it's not only the pollution in the sky and whatever else. Okay, you start whacking out animals left and right because you decided that this week is electric cars. Well, okay, they're great and whatever else, but what else happens when you do that?
Yeah.
The fossil fuels, that's one thing. But when you're blowing things up to get lithium and whatever they put in these batteries, and then when the battery dies, you put it in a landfill that then grows a plant or whatever it may be somehow, and then an animal eats it, and then that animal has kids. Guess who ends up eating possibly that animal?
Yeah.
A human.
Yeah.
That is more toxic than it already is from all the other shit they do with it.
Bro, look at like the people that are eating steaks in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s.
And live to 120.
Bro, look at the people that are eating steaks now.
Exactly.
The average age of death has actually gone down in the United States, and they want to say it's COVID.
Oh, get the fuck out
Bro,
of here.
Come on. They just announced 75% of all people that died from COVID had at least 4 or more comorbidities, bro.
Well,
that would have been nice a year and a half ago if you would have let everyone know
Well, hey,
about
you
that.
give me $30,000 to code that in, it's tough to turn away from if your head ain't right.
Bro.
You can't buy me. I don't give a fuck about it. You know, I've had it and I've had zero. I've had a lot and I've had zero.
Correct.
I mean, ramen noodles, zero, and I've had a lot like Lamborghini money.
Yep.
So it don't matter, you know, fuck money. You can't buy me.
Bro, me either, man.
And that's why we get along so good. And Glenn, who's over here pumping his hands.
I love it, bro. I'm sorry. I love it. I love that.
Bro, I'm in full-on fucking mode, man.
Now, what I loved about you that I read, I think somebody asked you, you know, why start this company? And you said, I want to clean up the country I was born in.
Mm-hmm. Tucker Carlson.
Is that where I got? I watched 10 of them last night with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. That's he said John Rourke from Jupiter, who's nowhere near Del Rio, Texas, had to come and clean up the country he was born in. Frankly, like, bro, cleanups are easy, man. People think it's hard. It's picking up trash, man. We were in the Army. That's all we did, bro. It's hands across America. It's police call time. It's line them up, you know, a football field length soldiers, hands across America, and we're just going down the bases picking up trash. When you're a private first class, specialist, bro, you're cleaning guns, you're picking up trash on post. That's what you do when you're in the Army and you're lower enlisted. So it's like, because it's actually very productive. It's like when you see something that's really, it's almost like pressure cleaning. It's like cutting your grass before and after. Like when there's a lot of trash and you remove it, you're like, oh, wow, that actually looks really nice. Can't believe how good that, and you feel good about yourself. So that was, for me, was kind of like how I wanted to, I figured, what's something that I can do that has a great impact, that a lot of people can get involved in, that doesn't cost a lot of money and doesn't require a lot of effort. It's just picking up garbage, really is what it is.
And then you decided that once a year you were going to go do a cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
And you started with, what was it,
Baltimore.
2019, inner city Baltimore.
Yeah, and Easterwood District.
And you get there, and the first day that you're there, you have two guys OD. First day you get there.
15 minutes in the
15 minutes
first
in,
day.
had a narcan.
Welcome to Baltimore.
So take me through that. You walk in there, you say, okay, we're going to clean this up. 15 minutes in, what happens?
So we're 15 minutes in, man. We're picking up needles on the street in Baltimore, trash, litter all over the place. It is like The Walking Dead in Baltimore, man. Like the people look like zombies walking on the sidewalks because they're all overdosing.
That's the next one you want to. Keep going.
Del Rio. So the people are all on drugs, hooked hard on drugs. So they're literally, walking around the streets of Baltimore like zombies, bro, like about to fall over. So 15 minutes into our first day, we see these two guys walking down the sidewalk and they're like about to fall out, and then they do. I was actually doing an interview at the time with the Baltimore Sun that heard that we had traveled from Florida. This was right around the time when Trump called it a rat-infested shithole. So it was all over the news, right? And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, how dirty it was. I was just like, Jesus Christ, that looks, Mosul in Iraq where I was is cleaner than Baltimore. I said, bro, we gotta do something, man. This was before Blue Line. I didn't have Blue Line at this time. I had All American. Garbage company. I'm like, who's better to clean up garbage than garbage men? Right. So, and I made some connections with some bigger garbage guys in Palm Beach County who had connections with New York garbage guys, and ran it up their flagpole, and they were like, hell yeah, we would love to help you out. So they said, if you get everything dialed in with the local government and where we're going to do it, we'll send a truck and some guys, right? So reached out to the local government in Baltimore, reached out to the mayor's office. They didn't want anything to do with it.
No?
Finally, no, because of the Trump thing, they assumed we were just coming there to pump Trump, and do all that. And
what a shame,
Yeah, they didn't want anything to do with it, but I was persistent. I went back down, and I was just kept saying, listen, man, this isn't even about any of that. It's about a group of guys and girls that want to come up and pick up trash in inner city Baltimore because we've seen how bad it is on TV. And we want to do something to help. You're literally going to deny people that want to come to a city that needs help, that want to give you help for 3 days. We want to pick up trash 3 straight days. And you're going to say no to that?
Over a man's name that you don't like? There's nothing to do
with. You don't even know I support or not.
Nothing to do.
I've never told you if I did or didn't support him.
They just assumed it.
They just assumed that was the reason why, we were coming up there. There's a guy named Scott Pressler who did a cleanup in Baltimore too, and he's pro-Trump, and he was beating the Trump drum up there, and that was, for his cleanup, it was all about Trump, and that's what he made it known about. So kind of, I'm assuming they assumed that it was going to be the same thing.
It kind of fell back on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't stop with my pursuit of being able to do it. And they relented. And once I got permission, I was like, hey, can my guys store the garbage truck in your yard, in your sanitation yard? There's not really many places you can park a garbage truck, right? So they said yes, and I said, can we dump the trash that we pick up for free at your landfill or at the incinerator? And they were like, yeah, for sure. So once they said we could dump the trash and we could store the truck, that was the hard part. And then I was like, all right, give me your 20 worst blocks where you've received the most calls for bulk trash, like where the most calls have come in from people that are like, get this shit out of my alley.
John, you didn't know what you were getting into, did you?
Bro.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God, bro. No idea.
Take me through it.
So they gave me 20 blocks, and it's in Easterwood district of Baltimore. So
did you have a bulletproof vest on?
Dude, it was wild.
You should have.
But you can't. You can't even carry a gun in Baltimore. You're a criminal if you have a gun. You're not allowed to do that.
You fucking serious?
Yeah, it's just like New York City, just like California. Like, you're not allowed to be armed.
Oh.
Why would you want to carry a gun in inner city Baltimore to protect yourself? Why would you want to do that?
Maybe you don't want to die.
Yeah. Maybe there should be parts in the United States of America where there should be any city in the United States where at any given time of the day, I should be able to walk through there and not have to worry about getting killed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So,
and if you do, you should be able to protect yourself.
There you go. So I should be able to at least have the ability to prevent that killing from happening. Can I do that? Because
apparently not.
It shows that if I walk through Baltimore at, between the hours of 11 o'clock at 3 in the morning, and I just walked from one end of Baltimore to the next, there's a really good chance that I might not make it all the way through.
Oh,
that's real life.
You see, John, they don't want that because then you'll make light of how bad it really is, and they don't want to do anything to fix it.
No. So, and that was a big problem with me being able to do the cleanup there was the lights were going to be shined.
Yep.
And they weren't going to have been shined so bright if it wasn't for two people overdosing in front of us, like right then and there. Which was the light that needed to be shined.
Of course.
Because people don't know that in inner city Baltimore, the people pass out Narcan to the residents that live there, and they keep the Narcan at their front door.
Really?
Yeah, because so many people overdose in the streets of Baltimore. It happens all the time. They literally pass out free Narcan to the people that live there, and they keep it on deck, keep it in their cars, keep it in their house, because literally people drop dead left and right.
It's like don't leave the house without it.
It is.
It's like an EpiPen. Like if you're allergic to something, you carry an EpiPen around.
It's that serious, man.
See, I knew there was a lot of killings there. And, obviously drugs, but not that bad.
Yeah, so the drugs are outrageous, man. The people walking around are literally...
Fentanyl and heroin and shit?
Yeah, heroin, fentanyl. So 15 minutes into the first day, these two guys dropped dead. They were brothers. So we run over there. Lady runs out of the house. They're overdosing. They're overdosing. Here, I got Narcan. We're like
on hand, you're like,
you got Narcan.
You're like, this bro's got it on hand?
What? Comes running out of her house with Narcan.
Yeah, what are you thinking when she's got this shit on hand? Just a woman out of nowhere.
Dude, the guys grab the Narcan, nasal spray.
I'm not laughing because it's funny.
No, it's just it's unbelievable story. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. So these dudes they're dead. They are not breathing, okay? They're fucking dead, right? So lady comes running out, hands the Narcan. One of my buddies, Clint, was a PBSO deputy at that time.
Thank goodness for him.
On leave, applied the Narcan. My other buddy, Joe, he is in recovery. He knew exactly what was going on. Narcan's the other dude. So the one brother gets Narcan. He sits right up like a zombie, like boom, comes immediately back to life.
Does it really do that? It really just snaps you right out of it?
Yeah, man.
I've never seen it.
For him, it did. It snapped him right up. He came to in a minute. We were all wearing bright orange shirts, and he comes to and he's like,
right, that was a bright awakening.
So he wakes up and he's like, why are all these white mother effers around me in orange shirts? Who the hell are you guys?
Motherfucker, we just saved your life.
He didn't know. He was pissed off that, he was just pissed off that we ruined his high. So he was. So his brother was laying there still dead. The original Narcan didn't wake him up. I say, dude, go run and grab the cooler out of the back of the truck. We had all this ice cold water in there. Pour the ice cold water on him. He shot up, man. He gets up, starts trying to fight us. So now we're like, dude, he's swinging wildly. They take off running. Police officer starts chasing them. They run into a liquor store around the corner. So we're just like, bro, what the F was that? What is going on right now?
Glenn,
we were all shook.
First 15 minutes of being
First 15 minutes, man.
First 15 minutes. 2 guys drop. Got to bang them. They didn't even start with the 25 tons they end up picking up.
Hell no.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Dude, so that was first 15 minutes in Baltimore. In that same time frame, on that same day, a helicopter was flying over us. A little girl got kidnapped. And the helicopter had like a speaker system on it where it can like almost talk like directly to people on the ground. It was very crazy. And they were just calling out what this little girl was wearing, flying overhead. A cop got shot at like 12 blocks down the road from us at that time. So we were like, holy shit, man. None of us were strapped because you can't be there.
And this is 2019.
2019.
So imagine how it is now.
Yeah. Oh, bro. It was bad there.
What do you want to say, Glenn? I see you waving over there.
Yeah. You're telling the story and just threw out there, oh, some girl got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah. No, that's insane.
It's nuts, bro. It's the Wild West in Baltimore.
But I used to live in Maryland, so I understand that. The Wire.
Yeah, exactly. The Wire.
It's called The Wire.
Bro, this place is a catastrophe. It's a complete and total disaster. And those poor people that live there, listen, man, there are tons of good people that live in that city, and after years and years and years and years of liberal reign, nothing has ever gotten better for them there. But for whatever effing reason, they keep voting the same freaking people in, and it never gets better.
I think they don't know any better. Maybe they don't have the financial ability to have the internet, or they do, and they're reading what they see on the internet.
It's the media, man.
The media. I mean,
it's the media, and unfortunately, it's the entitlement society, the mentality where we want to vote for people that are going to keep the gravy train coming instead of voting for people that are going to create good-paying jobs that's going to pull you out of poverty and out of the situation you're in. They want to create dependency. They want to pull you down because as long as they're paying you, they can control you, and you'll keep the votes coming and whatever else they want, like putting a chemical in your body that you have no idea what long-term effects are of it or really anything about it, but you're just going to do that because that's what you have to do. You know, that's what they told you to do.
And it's a shame because if you're them and you're trying to feed your kids and you just can't get a job or whatever it may be, and you have somebody who's running who's saying, look, we're gonna give checks to everybody that makes under 30,000.
Sure.
Even though you may know or not know that that's not really the best for the country, you got a family to feed.
Yeah.
So you need that check. So they go and they vote, to get the check because nobody's going there and saying, hey, look, why don't we give you training so you can go get a job and clean yourself up and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, here's a Band-Aid. And then when you blow that money, vote for us again and we'll give you another one. That's how it seems to me on the outside.
Correct. And it's all kinds of different people, man. It's the Asian community, it's the Hispanic community, it's the black community, it's the white community. It's all different people from all different walks of life, just like every city is a melting pot of different people from all over. It's Russian people. It's wild, bro. Baltimore's wild. And it is filthy. Dude, the rats are huge. The trash
you got, like,
is
dinosaur rats?
Bro, dinosaurs, man. Like,
you should have a little pellet gun to fucking
for real, bro. It is bad, man. And there's so much garbage, man.
What'd you get? You guys picked up 25 tons. Like as in TONS tons.
26, almost 26 tons.
Now, how long does it take to pick up 26 tons?
When you have a garbage truck, it moves a lot faster. Right, so like
still a lot.
We only had about like 9 or 10 guys, but on day one we start, after the 2 dudes, we overdosed and narcanned them. Then that drew a lot of media. Word got out that happened through the Baltimore Sun, who was just there because of the story of us coming to do the cleanup. Next thing you know, they witnessed it firsthand. They were already there and saw the whole thing happen. So then they reported on it. Then all the local news stations reported on it. And then next thing you know, there's, reporters out the wazoo. And then it was like getting shared on national Fox News, seeing like all these news stations were sharing it. And it became like national news. that, people coming to do a volunteer cleanup saved these 2 guys overdosing. But the real story was like how much trash was in the city and how bad the conditions are there.
Now, where do you put 26 tons of trash? Where do you put it at?
So what we were doing, man, is the majority of the bulk trash and the big items are in the alleys behind the buildings. All the alleys are blocked off with illegal dumping, like construction companies dumping their, bricks and tile. They'll literally back their dump trailers up and just dump it in an alley and leave. You know what I'm saying? So that happens a lot. Couches, mattresses, furniture. Instead of people having to pay to go to the landfill and dump it, they just dump it in an alley where all the rest of the trash is.
So you could go dump a Mack truck in an alley and walk away, but if you don't have a mask, you get arrested.
That's correct. You're not allowed to eat
How fucked up
in a restaurant.
But you could dump 5 tons of trash in an alley and walk away.
There's no problem. That's no problem. And then the government is going to have to pick that up where you were supposed to pay to dump that at a government landfill. They're missing that money, the money you would have paid them to dump it. And now not only did they miss that money, but now they're paying to pick it up in an alley. You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem is that they close the alleys. Cops can't drive through the alleys. Kids can't ride their bikes in the alleys. Creates a big mess. So what we were doing is there was so much trash in these alleys. We went to the store and bought tarps, and we were throwing the trash on the tarps and then pulling the tarps to the road to throw all the stuff into that really sped it up, to throw all the stuff into the garbage truck. And then the garbage truck would make a run, dump, and come back. But as time went on and we started cleaning up more and more people started coming out of their homes. What are you guys doing here? Who are you? Like, where are you from? I said, hey, we're from Florida. We're here to pick up trash. And we started passing out shirts. We had shirts made, Operation Baltimore cleanup shirts. And literally, if you watch some of the videos from Baltimore, I mean, literally people crying, can't believe that we came all the way from, Florida to pick up trash in their community. And they're angry about it. And, we bought a bunch of shovels and garbage bags and gloves, and we bought black-eyed Susans, which is the official flower of the state of Maryland. And in the fields that had weeds and trash, we started throwing the black-eyed Susan seeds in the fields and to grow the flowers where trash once was. Now it's flowers. So we bought all of this equipment, and we just donated at the end to the local church there and said, keep maintaining it. You know what I'm saying? Once a month, come back out here and pick up the trash, keep the alleyways clean. And I have one particular lady that calls me on during the holidays, will send me a message and say, hey, we're keeping it clean for you. Thank you so much. I'll never forget you guys coming.
Isn't that the coolest when you get that?
It's amazing.
Right. That makes all that work worth it, right? Just that somebody noticed it,
100%.
How good a shape were you in after that 26 tons and all that when you got back? After you took a nap, I bet you were pretty...
Dude, drove through the night.
Your endurance went up quite a bit.
Drove through the night, bro. From Florida to there and then back, and then through the night to leave to come home, to get back to work. But that was an insane cleanup, man.
And then you think, fuck, it can't get possibly worse than this. And then you go to the Rio, Texas.
We were going to go to New York originally, but then COVID hit. You can't do that. So the original plan was to go to the South Bronx. And, my mom's from the Bronx. My dad's from the Bronx. We wanted to do a cleanup in the Bronx. So I was watching Fox and Friends one day, and a sheriff named Sheriff A.J. Louderback was on talking about how Joe Biden was going to activate the National Guard to clean up trash along the southern border. And then it just hit me. I never even considered the southern border as a destination to pick up trash, because all you ever hear about is the people crossing. You never hear about the trash they leave behind, which is significant, right? So then I was kind of like, fuck New York. I can carry a gun in Texas if I wanted to. There's nothing
That's Wild Wild West.
I have, it's constitutional carry. I literally have a greater chance of getting mugged, killed, whatever in the Bronx than I ever would, I think, at the border in Texas. The people that are, for the most part, that are crossing the border are looking for the police. Running from the police. They want the police to find them so they can become, so they can get a notice to appear that they'll never appear for, and then they're just go to sanctuary cities where all their family and friends are already living, and then the government will just fly them in or put them on a bus and take them right to there, and then they just live the rest of their lives and peace and happiness. They get to work in restaurants and cook food, and they get to do landscaping, and they get to do all these jobs that Americans were at some point doing that are no longer doing. And then that whole cycle continues. But I can go on a tangent on that.
The first day you get there, you go for never forget 9/11.
Of course.
You end up getting there the 10th, right? And you start the 10th as well.
Yeah.
And the first day on that one, you guys end up pulling 2 guys out of a river.
We pulled 3 people out of a river.
Sorry, 3 people out of a fucking river. So Baltimore, 2 guys OD. You got to narc them.
Yep.
Trash everywhere, 25 tons. You say you can't get any worse. I mean, this has got to be the worst.
Dude, it's nuts.
You go to Texas. The first day you're there, you're pulling not 2. I read 2, 3. Yeah. You were there.
Yeah.
Fuck,
2.
Right?
I thought it was mom, dad, and son, but later found it wasn't. That the younger one wasn't.
Now, when you say pull 2 guys out of the river, okay, so you go there to clean up.
Yeah.
And then explain to me what goes on then, where you look over and you're like, there's fucking 3 guys in the river.
Dude, it was nuts.
Not to mention the mothers breastfeeding their children in
washing their kids in the Rio Grande.
In the Rio Grande.
Washing their breastfeeding babies being washed in
feeding them in the dirt.
Yeah.
And that made the news how many times?
Dude, it was
one time?
Yeah. It wouldn't have never have made the news if I would have never cleaned underneath that bridge.
I looked everywhere. One time it made the news. You.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I looked everywhere. DuckDuckGo, Brave, Google, you name it. One time.
Yeah, man. That would have never have been known. So,
but when you think about that from the bigger picture, you come out and you say, look, I was just in Texas to clean up. 3 guys are in the fucking river. Women are breastfeeding children in dirt. Let's just say what it is, right?
110 degrees outside.
Washing them in dirt.
110 degrees
outside.
The sun doesn't go down in Texas till like fucking 9 o'clock, bro.
Red ants everywhere.
Bro, everywhere. Wild animals all over the damn place, bro.
Didn't you say it was
skunks, coyotes,
yeah, didn't you say
deer,
it was like coyotes?
Bro, real coyotes.
Like the real, like not
the ones with 4 legs, bro.
Like not the fun ones you see
not the ones that get you across the border.
Yeah.
The real ones, bro, that will bite that ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now tell me about these guys in the river. How this fucking shit. Your story is crazy. You could write a book just on this nutty shit.
It is insane. So, see Sheriff A.J. Louderback. Can't believe the National Guard's getting activated to Texas to pick up trash. I'm retired from the Army. Bro, that we're trained to do a lot of shit, and picking up trash ain't fucking one of them unless it's on an Army base, bro. Okay? You are not training me and paying me to go pick up garbage from people that are crossing the country I'm protecting illegally. F you, bro. So I heard that shit, and that just pissed me off to no end. I said, we're going to Texas. We're cleaning up that border. That's just the end of the freaking story. So I see Sheriff A.J. Louderback is the sheriff. I Google him. Call the sheriff's department the next day. Or that was that day. I saw him in Fox and Friends in the morning. I called the day. Right? Get a hold of his assistant. Tell his assistant what I want to do. She's just like, what? You want to come from Florida to pick up trash along the southern border? You're going to bring a bunch of people in a garbage truck? I'm like, yeah. And we did it in Baltimore. We're going to do it again. She's like, Sheriff. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got a guy you might want to talk to. He comes in, puts me on the phone. Real country guy. Hey, how's it going? This is Sheriff A.J. Louderback. How may I help you? Tell him the story. He can't believe it. He's like, bro, I'm gonna have to run this up the chain to the governor. You're talking about bringing potentially could be 1,000 people or more. I'm like, Sheriff, I have no idea. This catches wind on social media. Who the hell knows who's gonna show up? I don't know. Could be 1 million people show up for all I know. Could be 10 of us. Could be just me. I go, but I'm gonna bring a garbage truck one way or another, and we're gonna pick up trash along the southern border. He just can't believe it, right? So he's like, so listen, man, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm about 60 miles from the border. He goes, not only am I going to have to run this up to the flagpole to the governor because you're bringing heavy equipment in, you might be bringing 1,000 people to the border. He needs to know about this. He says, I'm not by the border. I know all the trash you saw on TV. It's legit. That's how crazy it is. He goes, if you thought what you saw on video where I am 60 miles away is crazy, wait till you see what's on the actual border. So he puts me in contact with Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez of Valverde County. And I call Sheriff Joe. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Sheriff A.J. Louderback put us in contact. I wanted to clean, blah, blah, blah. Sheriff, he's like, all right, Sheriff already talked to me. I would love to have you come here and do that.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, right?
Completely opposite from Baltimore, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was welcome. Like, I can't believe we're blessed to have someone want to come do this for our community. The trash is so bad here. Thank you. We're overrun. Our hospitals are overrun. Our jails are overrun. Our police department's overrun. Our stores are overrun. Our food banks are overrun. We're literally, the people that live in Valverde County and Del Rio specifically are prisoners of their own home. They can't sell their homes. No one wants to move to Del Rio. Why the hell would you want to move there? It's overrun with illegal immigration. So these people can't even sell their homes. They can't move, even if they wanted to. They literally have to walk away from your home just to flee. So anyway, I get on with Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez. I say, hey, I want to come out in June, and I want to get a lay of the land before I do the cleanup. I don't want to just show up there. That's one thing I wish I had done in Baltimore, was go there first, see the area first, then go and do the cleanup. So I flew out to flew into Del Rio, Texas. They have a little small airport there. And I met the sheriff, and he showed me around. Took me along the Trump wall and then the Bush wall, because in Del Rio, it's kind of where the wall stopped when Biden took over. So they have, half done, and then the other half is the old wall, which is pathetic.
How good was that wall that he was building? Did it look real solid? Killer shit?
Killer shit, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like,
get into that motherfucker.
No, bro, you know what you're going to do? You're going to walk until there's no more wall, and then you're just going to go in there.
Yeah.
Because, you don't climb 30-foot walls, bro.
Yeah.
You just and they're in the ground. You're not taking a shovel in the desert in 110 degrees, and you can start digging your way underneath.
You'll
the wall.
Be dead before you even get halfway down.
It's
right?
A lot of people die on just getting to the wall on the journey.
Then they got to dig.
Right. So no, bro, they're just gonna keep walking until it stops.
Yeah.
Right, because they want to be caught.
Yeah.
They want to be caught. Right. So.
Yeah.
So he takes me along the wall, and as soon as you get to the wall, next thing you know, here come all these people coming to the fence. Right? And they're coming out of the trees, they're coming because they want to be caught. They want to be apprehended. He goes, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I told you about. These people are waiting for us. They're not running from the police. They're running to the police. So I could not believe it, bro. This is my first, I'm hyped up. I'm riding with the sheriff of this county. He's taking me along the wall. Then I'm riding with one of his sergeants and one of his officers, and they're showing me the real ins and outs of Del Rio, telling me about the crime, telling me about how they're spending so much money on their police budget and overtime hours because they're dealing with the wall, that they can't police their city of Del Rio and the county of Valverde correctly because they're so busy dealing with illegals that real crimes are being committed, and they can't get to the people, that Americans, because they're busy holding 50 to 100 or 500 people, because the Border Patrol can't get to these people because they're busy detaining people. So if you only have
so many damn people, right?
4 to 8 people in one sector patrolling the Border Patrol, once 100 people walk to the fence, you have 2-3 Border Patrol agents are done until those people are loaded up, taken into a van, driven, to the facility, in process. Those Border Patrol agents are gone for 3-4 hours, right? So now Valverde Sheriff has to pick up where they are weak, the Border Patrol, because once they see people cross, they have to stay there with them until the Border Patrol gets there. Then they can go back to policing.
That's a long process.
Bro,
it sounds like a very, very long process.
Could be 3 hours before Border Patrol gets to the Valverde Sheriff.
Or longer, right?
And for that 3 hours, where is the police?
Yeah.
Well, people are committing crimes in the city. Illegals committing crimes in the city, and Americans committing crimes in the city, right? The gangs running wild, because that's what they do in those border towns, right? Mm-hmm. They control both sides of the border. So the sheriff is just like, dude, it's nuts, right? So takes me around to all the spots. I get the lay of the land, right? I can't believe what I'm seeing. I'm recording it on Facebook Live. It's all on my Instagram, my Facebook. If you scroll down to the June time frame, you can see those original videos from my first time when I went by myself. So now I fly in for the September 11th cleanup, right? Fly in on the 9th. Me, one of the guys that works for me, and 2 of my friends that are active duty, one's still active. Well, now actually they both retired. They were active duty at the time. They both retired, one Air Force, one Army. And then a good friend of mine who has since passed away, Eric Hari, he was the guy that recorded everything in 4K. He was a Purple Heart recipient in Afghanistan.
Congrats.
He was spearfishing in Costa Rica, and he never came back up.
Oh, shit.
And that would just recently happened,
sorry
like 2 weeks ago. And it's tragic, so tragic. But he recorded everything, and he spoke Spanish. He was fluent, so he was able to translate, on the border. He recorded everything. The guy was amazing guy. So
sorry to hear that, John.
It sucks, man. Purple Heart recipient, blown up in Afghanistan, traumatic brain injury, survived the crash on the Autobahn where his skull collapsed, beat that in 9 lives.
Survived the crash from the Autobahn?
Survived the crash on the Autobahn, survived getting blown up in Afghanistan, spear fishes, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying? He takes people on these spearfishing, like jungle spearfishing tours, like raw Costa Rica.
That's cool, though.
Dude, spearfishing dinosaurs still in the oceans.
But at least in a way, you can kind of look at it like
he died.
He went out the way he did what he loved.
100%. 100%.
And I think that's kind of like the way we all hope we can go.
Bro, like I don't want to die on a toilet.
Me neither.
Or in a shower.
Yeah.
Like in my bed.
I'll take either my sleep or doing something I love. Sleep's kind of
sleeping in your bed and you just don't wake up. That's like
it kind of sucks though.
Yeah, like I don't know if I want to go out.
I'd rather be taken out, like,
spearfishing
cool.
a giant Kubera monster, and then like that's how you go out.
At least you go out like with something
like a savage.
You go out like a fucking man,
like a fucking caveman,
like a fucking
bro.
Caveman. That's how I want to.
Earning that shit, bro. I'm bringing dinner to the village. That's what he used to do, bro.
But I want it to be quick though. I don't want it to be. What I mean?
They say it's quick. They believe it was, and I don't want to speculate, but usually it's like a shallow water blackout where you're coming up. They found him at the bottom, 87 feet down, with a fish on his spear. So he speared the fish and was coming up, and usually like that kind of stuff happens 5 feet or at the surface, and you go down. Sucks. Anyway, I mean, it's horrible. And what an unbelievable dude. He just bought a house in Fort Pierce. The next day he left for Costa Rica. He didn't even get his first house he ever bought. He never even got a chance to live in his house. It's just tragic, bro. So anyway, I can go on and on
rough.
about it, but rest in peace, bro. So
absolutely.
We're
condolences to his family too.
Yeah, man, tough. So we're in Del Rio, and anyway, so we fly back there on the 9th. So now I'm riding along the wall where in June when I went, hundreds of people as soon as I went by, parked. They're coming, right? We're driving by. I'm not seeing anybody. Going one end, back and forth, back. I'm telling the guys, I'm like, bro, they're gonna come to the fence, 100%. They're like, bro. It's been an hour. You're full of shit. Are you joking with me? There's no one crossing the border here. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, there is. So I come to find out, they're just keeping them under a bridge, in the United States of America. Oh, just store those human beings, store them underneath that bridge over there, that overpass. That'll be totally fine. That's why they weren't coming to the fence. So I meet with the sheriff on the 9th, right? The next day is the cleanup. Meet with the sheriff. Hey, man, we made it. Blah, 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 blah. The sheriff says, hey, listen, I know you were planning on doing this portion of Del Rio for the cleanup on the 11th, but would you like to, clean up underneath this bridge in Valverde County, in Del Rio? There's tons of trash there. It's a big spot where the people cross. And I'm like, wherever you want, Sheriff. Like, dude, we're here to clean for you. You say, hey, clean there, we're going to go clean there. Like, that's why we're here. You're the guy that knows where it's needed most. Little did I know that was the bridge where all these people were. Right? So that's why they weren't coming to the fence anymore, because the Biden administration was the optics were horrible. Guys like me were able to sit in the public street and record little kids with their lips chapped white and their eyes sunken in, who just literally crossed the Rio Grande and been walking through the desert or through these cities for weeks and sometimes months, in 110-degree temperatures. They're hungry, they're thirsty. They can't have guys like me recording that and sharing that on social media. And obviously social media, there's no way they could have that. Like, I post a picture of like a really good pizza and I get 10 million people, or you know what I'm saying? I get 150 likes. I post a picture of 100 people coming to the border fence, little kids who are in need of water and food, and I get 4 people, and one of them's my mom, my wife's the other one, that like the post. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, oh, here's the steak I cooked in a big green egg, freaking 250 likes. You know what I'm saying? Here's me. People, I'm pulling people out of the Rio Grande, 25 people, my brother, my sister, my mom, my buddy Mike, all these same people. So what's happening. They're They can't have that.
Right.
They cannot have me showing that video. And neither could the Biden administration. So they went ahead and just cut them off at the pass, bro. As soon as they come out of the river, what we're going to do is we're just going to cut them off there and put them under the bridge. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send buses in, because it's on federal property, mind you. The Rio and where the fence is, there's like a half a mile to a mile in between those two places. That is federal land. It's not like you cross the Rio and you're immediately onto the United States territory at that point. Like you're on federal land. Unless you have clearance to get onto that piece of property, you're not getting back in there. You would never see those people that are underneath that bridge, right? So they were sending buses back in. Buses were busing them out 50 to 100 at a time. No more people coming to the fence, problem solved. Then we went and cleaned up the trash, and then it became a problem for them. A big problem.
Hold on. He's got to pee. I got to pee too. I can see him squeezing. Hold on. Let's go take a leak quick. All right. So we all relieved ourselves. We feel better now. Breath of fresh air. So now you're in Texas. You're completely different than it was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
You get in there, and now you get the okay. You're building a strategy of what you're going to do and how to go about it. The guy in Texas was kind enough to show you everything and what's really going on.
Sure.
And then you go in and you start your approach. You have a strategy of what to do, and then take us from there.
Bro, no Americans had ever come to him and been like, how can I help you? How can I help your county? Nobody's ever, he couldn't believe that we were willing to drive from Florida or fly from Florida to pick up trash in his county and give him money. Like, we raised $10,000 and gave him a check at the end of the cleanup for 10 G's. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, I don't care if you're rich or not. 10K is a lot of money.
10K is 10K.
It's 10 effing K, bro. And he was stoked. I'm like, I'm sorry I couldn't make it 100K, but it's 10K. And he's going to use that to repair and renovate his rifle range so his sheriff's deputies can, practice shooting.
Might be a good idea.
As a cop.
Right?
Like, hey, maybe we can go to a gun range that works and actually, have target practice and fire ARs.
Are you saying training? Oh. No, you can't.
Brothers are supposed to figure it out, man. Fucking figure it out. Like the Border Patrol agents, they were talking back yesterday to he's like, dude, anyway, I don't want to, let's stick to the border right now, and then we'll get into the Border Patrol.
Yeah, because I want to ask you about that, because I saw him on TV yesterday.
Bro.
So
anyway, day one of the cleanup, we are on private property, okay? It's a homeowner's land. It's on the Rio. So anytime you see people crossing the Rio Grande in Del Rio, it's from this particular piece of property, right? Every news agency that gets footage gets it from this person's property, right? They have DPS, they have the National Guard. They're all set up in this particular spot. The homeowner has allowed the state of Texas and the agents and Fox News access to her property to be able to record and for the agents to apprehend people on private property. So what's happening is these people, it's very much a hot spot to cross, right? So we cleaned on that property on September 10th, right? So there was a ton of garbage, mostly clothes. So what they do is they cross the river. They have a garbage bag with dry clothes in it, and their clothes get wet when they cross the river. They take their wet clothes off, put their dry clothes on, and then leave the garbage bag and all the wet clothes there, and then they go on with their journey, right? So there was, dude, just so much clothes, man. Oh, my God, insane amount of clothes, bro, like a damn department store's worth of clothes, bro.
Really?
Stitches all over the riverbanks. Just insane amounts of garbage bags, clothes, feminine products, diapers, kids' clothing, you name it, masks out the freaking wazoo, but hey, we have cardboard straws now. Oh. No plastic straws. We have cardboard straws, and, we're saving because that straw went in that sea turtle's nose. Now the sea turtle not only has a straw in its nose, but it also is wearing a mask now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great, because now when I get a straw, it lasts about 2 fucking seconds.
Correct, because that's fun.
Yeah.
To pay for a drink that you have to drink out of a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's in liquid.
Bro.
Paper, liquid.
But just know that there are a ton of masks floating in the Rio Grande. Tons of them. Okay?
But don't have a straw.
Where all waters lead.
Yeah.
They all lead to the ocean, bro. And so that's where all those masks are going.
Your mind has, after Baltimore, and then you see this, your mind's got to be like, what the fuck?
Bro, it's government.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mess. It's government. Like, I don't understand how people don't understand that.
I just
less
think
government is better.
They don't see it though, because like before reading all this stuff with you, I didn't know that people are floating in rivers and babies are getting washed in dirt in Texas. I could see somebody saying that in a third world country.
Yeah, bro, in Bosnia or something.
Or yeah, right.
I was in Bosnia in the '90s, and that's how it was.
Yeah, I know. You got a list of places you've been.
That's how it was there.
Right. So I could see it there, but not in Texas. So. When I'm reading about you, I had no idea, and I'm a person that reads. Like I try to read the newspaper when I take a dump because I like to take a dump and have coffee. But you can't read the paper anymore, so I try to read different articles and try to make my own judgment, which is the most factual. And I had no idea. And not that I'm like some big researcher, but the average person
should know
that, but there's no way to find out, really.
Because all your media sources, no one's reporting that.
Other than John sitting across from me, how do you know? You could go to 100 times. It's just
Hey, bro, and when you see me, you know that shit's real.
I know.
I'm not staging anything. I didn't pre-plan anything. None of that crap, bro. Those are real people telling real stories. Like, that's real life America there, man.
And anybody listening and watching this, I'm sitting across from John. I've talked to John on the phone, and this has nothing to do with attention. This is what the fuck is really going on.
Bro, I've been serving my whole life, man. Yeah. My dad served his whole life. My dad was 20 years NYPD, then did 25 years running the American Legion.
It's in your blood.
My sister's a cop. Yeah. Belle Glade, bro.
Good for her.
Belle Glade.
Belle Glade.
She was with Belle Glade PD.
A lot of football
before
players.
PBS, hell yeah, they did. Before PBSO, there was a Belle Glade Police Department. Like, she's a triple OG from the Belle Glade Police Department.
That's your
days.
sister?
Yeah.
Congratulations to her,
dude. She's
I don't want
awesome.
no problems.
No, dude. She's like my dad.
Yeah,
cool. She's a spitting image, man. But
you got to tell me about the river guys.
So
I'm dying to know.
So we're
not that it's funny. It's not funny at all.
So we're down there on the river, and we're picking up trash on this property, and within the first hour, it's next thing I know, I see a guy on horseback come down the side of a mountain on the Mexican side, bro, a legit cowboy, the fucking tassels and everything, bro. The cowboy shirt,
big belt,
the hat. I could see the boots, bro. He was so far away. I'll show you the video. Guaranteed he had. They all had the belt. He has to have the big. He had every other thing on horseback, right? He's up on the side of a mountain.
Bet he could fuck shit up too,
bro. Yeah. So I'm on the riverbank and I'm looking across the Rio and I see this dude come down on fucking horseback, full on cowboy. I'm like, hey guys, you see that guy? And we're all staring at him, right? And next thing you know, I see him. He's like doing this hand signal, and next thing you know, here come 5 people out from behind a bush, and they're starting to cross the Rio. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Dude, these people are crossing the Rio. I'm like, we're witnessing in real time the whole process as it plays out. The coyote on horseback, directing people to cross the river, to come into America. Like, this is how it works, right? Like, so next thing you know, here come 5 people. They get into the middle, right in the middle of the river. 2 people turn around and start walking back to Mexico. And the guy on horseback starts to proceed away. They start to leave. And then next thing you know, here come these 3 people. And I'm like, boys, they're coming right towards us, bro. Like, these people are coming towards us. We're going to pull these people out of the river. So, like, here they come. And next thing you know, bro, we're pulling people out, man. They came from Venezuela, and they're like, fuck Maduro. Like, they're gasping for air. The older gentleman, probably in his 50s with his wife. She's probably in her 50s too, crying full on their knee, head in their hand, bawling. So happy to be in the United States of America and finally make it here. And now they don't have to ever worry again about Maduro or Venezuela. So we were like, whoa, bro.
They won again.
Whoa. What am I going to do? Not pull human beings out of a river?
you'd be heartless if you did.
Come on, bro. Like,
You know? I mean,
if I lived in Venezuela, I'd be trying to cross that river with my family too.
absolutely.
Because I don't want my family to eat out of garbage cans. I don't want to eat horse or cat.
Yeah, you can't blame them.
No.
You blame the process that's being allowed.
Yes.
Right?
That allows them to make the trip and come here that way.
Because there is a process that can be done
Yes.
the right way.
Are you Native American? I'm not.
I'm not.
So where did all of us come from?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's a different time then than it is now. I understand that. It's kind of like when the people say about the, when they made the Constitution, they didn't know about the guns that we have now. They made it when there was muskets and stuff. It's like,
The fuck is the difference?
come on, bro. Like, please stop with that shit. Like, these people are full on pouring across the border, bro, in massive numbers. And they're coming from some of the worst off countries that exist. Haiti's like the poorest country that exists, bro. Like,
a lot of Haitians are nice, but a lot of them are real dangerous people.
bro, real dangerous.
Real dangerous.
Yes, man. And, and there's a lot of very good people
Very
that
good
are Haitians.
And
Hard workers.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're just trying to make a better life for themselves. And I get that, but you got to do it the right way, man. Otherwise, we will become their country.
Yeah.
If enough of them, what happens when there's more Haitians living here than in Haiti?
They take over.
What happens when there's more Guatemalans living here than there in Guatemala and Nicaragua? And keep going.
It's no longer America.
Cuba.
It's no longer America, right?
You lose your
it's
country,
just
man.
not.
When you don't have borders and there's not rule of law, you don't have a functioning country. And that's what they want.
You know what shocked me that you had said, and I never heard it or read it ever before, and I know I read about Chile a lot because, they have the microscope there, at the telescope, I'm sorry, microscope. I was studying something else the other day.
Yep.
And I'm real into that. I like
Sure.
to look at it. And so Chile, they're a border issue too?
Oh, man.
I never heard it.
So this is how it happens.
It's never heard it.
Yeah, me either, until I heard it. Then I was like, oh, until I started seeing the IDs of Chilean Haitians on the border. So this is how. All right, man.
Wow.
You
would never think Chile, right?
Hell no. So a ton of Haitians live in Chile. A ton.
What?
So when the mega earthquake happened in Haiti, I don't know how many years it's been now. It's been years. They fled Haiti and went to Chile. And the Chilean government gave them residency in Chile because of the earthquake. So they've been living there for 5 or 6 years since then, living there, legal residents of Chile, waiting for the opportunity to come here. And when Biden became president and basically said, we're open for business, bring them all in, back the truck up, right? They left Chile, but they waited till that second earthquake that happened, like, I guess it's been 6 months now, maybe 5 months ago. There was another earthquake there. When that earthquake happened, that gave them a reason to flee Chile and say, we're fleeing Haiti because of the earthquake that just happened. We can't stay there anymore. It's not safe for our family. Our home was demolished. Our town was demolished because of this earthquake. We need to come to the United States. That's their excuse, right? And it's a great little hustle for them. It works.
Great hustle, great
So
move.
what they do is before they get to the border and cross the Rio, they ditch their Chilean ID because when they show up, if they showed up with Chilean ID, we'd send them back to Chile. But they show up with no ID. They say, I lost my ID in the earthquake. You're clearly Haitian, so they're not going to send you back to Haiti. You're in.
Fuck. What a move. Hell of a move.
I picked up 100 Chilean residency cards.
You got to respect the hustle.
Bro,
like we said, you got to respect the hustle.
Whatever it takes. If you're trying to get here from somewhere that bad, I'm not going to lie and tell you I want to do whatever it takes to get my family, myself to the United States where I know I'm going to have health care. I'm going to be able to have a job and support my family. My kids are going to go to public schools and get an education.
You can't blame them. You can't.
How in the world could you ever do that?
I would say that if you blame the individual, you're inhuman.
Yeah, man.
Because all they're trying to do is help their family and have a better life.
Imagine living in Cuba.
Fuck that. Fuck no.
Bro, come on, man. They're coming. They're not just coming from South America, man. They're coming from Africa. When we were there, there was Africans. There was.
How the fuck are they getting from Africa?
Bro,
same shit.
They fly in.
Wow.
They leave.
This goes deep, bro.
Bro, the Cubans told me they went from Cuba to Brazil and walked for 3 months from Brazil to the border.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This goes deep, 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 deep.
Bro, Cubans are flying to Russia, then flying from Russia to Brazil, then walking from Brazil to the border, bro.
Holy.
Because they can't fly from Cuba to Brazil straight away because Brazil's like, nah, bro, we know where you're coming here.
Yeah, they're like, oh, see ya.
You're coming from Russia, though. They don't even think anything of it.
Wow.
It's that hustle game.
Meanwhile,
man. That's what they're
while
doing.
this is going on, AC is in Miami selling sweatshirts, all worried about deflection and whatever else.
Yeah.
And you got such a strategic strategy that these individuals have, and more, like we said, you can't blame them, that they're going from country to country to country to get in here, bearing it with climate bullshit and electric bullshit and pandemic this and pandemic that. Meanwhile, all these real things that are real issues are going on, and it's never heard of while they're out doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. I mean, like I'm trying to comprehend how this is like just buried.
Yeah. Imagine if AOC actually physically did something for her community.
You go from one country to Russia to another country, then to get in here, and they see the floodgates are open. Wow.
Border Patrol just opens the fence, man. You walk up to the fence, they undo it's a padlock with a code. They do the code, they unlock it, they push that. You go to my Instagram, you will watch videos, and you will see videos of them opening the gate, the fence, and then just letting them into the United States. I'm filming it live, and I say to you...
Can you scroll down on here, Glenn?
Yeah, go down.
Scroll down.
So you will see all the videos, the people coming down on horseback. You'll see the gate getting open, and then them just, the Border Patrol literally opening the gates to the United States of America and allowing them to just come right into the country.
Unreal.
Keep going. It's down there.
Way down.
Yeah.
Tell me when to slow down. So if you're listening, we're just looking at everything he's got on Instagram. That's Instagram.com/Bluelinemoving.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Go the other way. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's after these ads. Keep going. All right. So that's Sheriff A.J. Louderback right there. This is the beginning. Keep going. That's when I was talking to him, and I'm putting it together, Texas Sheriff, on how border crisis impacts his community. Right? That's the gentleman where this all got started.
Okay.
So keep scrolling up.
Okay.
There's the spot. You see that little map? That's where we cleaned.
Okay, so if somebody's listening, John, can you explain this?
Yeah, so that is the city. So it says Ciudad Acuña. That's the city on the other side of the border in Mexico. That's on the other side of the Rio. So that's where all the people are coming through the city of Acuña, and then they're crossing the Rio into Del Rio, which is right on the other side. You see where it says Rio Grande?
Yep.
Everything on that side is Del Rio.
That's pretty damn close to the wildlife.
Yeah.
I mean, right here.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, there's lots of that around there. So if you want to go back to the other one, and all right, let's see here. Keep going. So this is where I did the Tucker show, Dr. Gina.
Yeah, let's play Tucker here.
Yeah.
Let's play a little bit of Tucker. Let me unmute this here.
That not all Americans are passive.
Congratulations on this too.
Crisis like
this.
On Tucker.
You want to? Yeah. Wait till you hear the hustle of how I got on that show. You will definitely respect it.
But first, a reminder that not all Americans are passive in the face of a crisis like this. Some of them jump at the opportunity to help. John Rourke saw what was happening on TV and decided he wanted to help. He wanted to clean up the country he was born in. So he participated in the Great American Cleanup. He helped organize a trash pickup along the border. No one else was doing it.
Now, I ask everybody this that has been on. I asked Stone and Cardillo, I think, was on.
Yeah.
When they set you up like this, do they have you go to a studio?
Yeah.
You go to an actual studio spot. They got a mic and a camera, and they're wired in.
Yep.
Is that how it is?
100%.
Now that I have a studio, I'm always curious about the shit.
They do. They have multiple. They have one in West Palm. They have one on North Lake.
They don't use Skype or Zoom or whatever. They got that wired in, right?
Yeah. It's a legit legit studio.
Yeah, I always wonder how it looks so good virtual.
Yep.
There he is. There's the guy.
I got my pissed off face
I
on.
admire what you've done. Tell us what you did and why.
So thanks for having me on, Tucker. So I flew a group of, I own Bluelinemoving in Jupiter, Florida. It's a moving company.
Plug.
Every year we do a different cleanup
Plug.
in different cities throughout the United States.
Plug City.
We cleaned up inner city Baltimore after the whole Trump
Look at that.
tweeting about it. We were able to pick up 26 tons of garbage in that city. 2 guys overdosed right in front of us 15 minutes into our first day. We narcanned them back to life. So that Baltimore is crazy. I didn't think anything could be crazier than that. And then we went to Del Rio. So I flew a group of us out there, veterans, some active duty guys, and we started picking up trash along the southern border. We went there for 9/11. Never forget.
Look at that trash, bro.
I know.
So many people died on that day, and this is what we felt like we could do to respect those people. And we flew out there and we picked up thousands of pounds of garbage along the southern border. Our first day, 9/10, we were literally picking up garbage, and in 15 minutes, I pulled with some of my guys. We pulled 3 people out of the river. We went from picking up trash to pulling people from the river from Venezuela. The next day on 9/11, I was underneath that bridge, and I see Maxine Waters and Kamala Harris talking about what they seen. Well, let me tell you what I saw. I saw
love that
people
part.
washing
I love that
babies
part.
in the
I love
Rio
that part.
Grande.
Let me
saw
tell you what I
babies
see.
breastfeeding babies,
Yeah.
sleeping in dirt, 107 degrees outside, red ants everywhere, real coyotes, the ones that have 4
Listen.
sleeping in dirt,
Sleeping in dirt.
107 degrees outside.
Babies, breastfeeding.
Red ants everywhere, real
Yep.
coyotes, the ones that have
Oh, yeah.
4 legs walking around. It was like Naked and Afraid, Southern Border Edition out there. People are literally knocking down trees and setting up lean-tos and teepees and sleeping under those. They come and go back and forth from Mexico as if me or you walk across the street. There's nobody there to stop them. We spoke to a ton of them. About 85% of the people underneath that bridge were Haitian. The majority of them were coming to South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them are going to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach,
100%.
Orlando. I asked them about COVID-19.
So now they're going from there to Miami, West Palm. Really?
Hell yeah.
Wow. What the?
In droves.
And now, what's DeSantis doing about it? I mean, he's putting up a pretty good fight against it, right?
Yeah. See, the problem is that this is a problem that's embedded in the state of Florida.
But first, a reminder that not all Americans.
It's a problem that's embedded in the state of Florida. It's the fact that the Haitian community is so thick down here now. There's no stopping the train. You know what I'm saying? They want to come here because their family members, cousins, friends, someone they know from the island of Haiti is living in Miami somewhere, or in West Palm, or in South Florida somewhere. It's the closest place you can get to Haiti. The community's established. They're sanctuary cities, so the police aren't going to send them packing. Even if they got caught for something, they're just going to release them. So, bro, why wouldn't you want to live in South Florida? If you had the ability, if you were a Haitian coming from Haiti and they're like, West Palm Beach or Chicago?
West Palm Beach all the way.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, you want to go to Milwaukee? No, people that live in Milwaukee don't want to be in Milwaukee.
Right, 100%.
No one wants to be in like, dude, you don't want to be there. Like, who the hell wants to live in the Bronx? Oh, come on, bro. The Yankees, that's, for me, that's about it for the Bronx. It's
right.
Like, bro, they're going to West Palm Beach, bro, where there's palm trees and sunshine and everything's clean and everything's manicured and there's work. There's fields and farming and orange groves and restaurants, and there's all kinds of booming opportunity because not only do they want to move there, but so does everybody else.
So now tell me the hustle, how you got on Tucker. This sounds good.
Dude.
This sounds good.
So after doing the cleanup, right, I'm home now and I'm watching Tucker, and it's like his lead story. He leads with the Del Rio story. And I'm sitting on my couch at my house and I'm thinking, I was there. I'm listening to his words and he's showing footage of like the drone and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, I have to talk to this guy and tell him my story. This is a worldwide story, right? And he led his show with it. So this is the #1 story in the world right now because Tucker Carlson said it was.
He's the #1 guy.
He is.
Yeah.
So if that's the story he leads with, that's the lead story.
Congratulations, John.
Right? Isn't that nuts? Me, bro.
Congratulations.
And, bro,
you worked for it, though. You worked for it. You worked for it, and you had balls.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad that I did it, obviously. I received a lot of pushback and people, just haters, bro. Fuck them, man. Right? So anyway, so I'm watching this dude talk about what we were there doing. Like, he's saying stuff he doesn't even really know. Like, he doesn't know there's a wet board where a Border Patrol is trying to keep an active number of what's currently under the bridge. Like, that number was fluctuating, dude. Like, he doesn't know, like, that these people are, he doesn't know that there are babies being born under the bridge. There were babies born American citizens under that bridge.
Fucking crazy.
Think about that.
Now, how hard is it to be on that show when you only got 3-4 minutes to get out everything you have to say? Because I always see that. They have the time limit. They got the person in their ear. And you got that little bit of time to try to get so much out.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
I mean,
for me, it would be tough.
I don't write anything down. So, like, real quick before I answer that question, let me finish how I got on Tucker.
Absolutely.
I'm watching him, and I'm thinking, holy shit, I gotta tell him my story. I'm messaging him on Facebook. He doesn't handle his own Facebook page. Instagram, no response. I'm thinking maybe whoever's running his pages will see it and get the message to him. Nothing. Not even showing anything and I knew that was almost certainly going to be the case. Trying to find an email address, going to tuckercarlson.com, going to tips on Fox News. Bro, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm finding producers from his show and connecting with them and then sending them messages through LinkedIn, hoping that they would see it. Then I start going to anybody that works at Fox News and I start connect, instant message. And I see these people's face. I know they've seen the message and I'm like, I know you've seen this message, bro. You need to get this video to whoever the hell you need to get it to because this shit is nuts. And I can see your little bubble of your face. I know you read what I wrote. And no one would respond, bro. One guy responded, Gary Bumgarden, and he does Fox News 24/7 on Sirius XM radio. He saw it and actually responded and had me on his podcast. Hell yeah, Gary. That's my guy right there.
Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary Bumgarden, dudes.
Great job, John, not giving up.
Yeah, man.
Never give up. Love it.
You never give up, bro. Okay? No matter how bad it is or how many people tell you you can't, you can. That's the end of the story, bro. If you know it to be certain, it will be certain. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take for it to happen, but you're going to make it happen.
You got the balls to fight through it.
So I'm thinking, how the freak do I get this guy? And then I remembered, I have an app on my phone that I can background search people. Which I do. So I'm like, I'm going to type his name in there and see what comes up. So I type in Tucker Carlson. Boop. Up comes his number, phone numbers, address, email addresses, prior neighbors, where
Beast mode.
I immediately text that says most likely number. I text that number. I text Carlson like 2 to 3 times a week now.
Cool.
And he responds back to me.
That's awesome, man.
It's nuts, bro.
Congratulations.
It is nuts.
But you worked for it and you deserve it.
Thank you. So I text him and I say, I don't know if this is who I think this is, you're going to want to see these videos and see these pictures. So I just proceed to start sending him all the videos and all the pictures I have. And thank God for Eric, everything was in 4K, crystal clear HD. He even translated the Haitian into English and subtitles so you can read when you're watching the video what these guys are saying. So it was like epic video, right? So I'm sending it to Tucker, and then an hour goes by, and I'm thinking this dude's not responding, right? And I started texting him right after his show at like 9:08. He responds at like 10:15 and says, who is this? And I say, my name is John Rourke. I organized a veteran cleanup. I own Bluelinemoving. I was underneath that bridge in Del Rio, and that footage came from me. I was there on September 11th before anybody knew about it, and I actually told your Fox News people about it, and that's why they flew the drone over that area. So he's like, this is amazing footage, and what your story is amazing. Would you consider coming on my show?
If you and in your mind, you got to be like, no, I don't want to go on your show. You know what I mean?
Tucker Carlson.
Would you be interested in coming on the biggest fucking show right now on cable?
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
Yeah. That'll be a yes from me. It's a yes from me, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down.
So he's like, would you consider coming on my show? If you'll give me your last name, I'll put you in contact with one of my producers. And I said, is this Tucker Carlson? And he says, yes, it is. And I said, I will absolutely love to come on your show. My name is John Rourke. I said, I cannot believe that this app worked. And he said, LOL, I've had the same number for 26 years and I can't bear to change it. And next thing you know, I'm on fucking Tucker Carlson, bro. Tucker Carlson, bro. Boom. And then they come out with, Kamala Harris comes out with the whipping. You remember? They're whipping. That's worse than slavery.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, so you know nothing about horses. Oh, so you made an uneducated assumption of what was going on. And then as the second most powerful person in the world, you just put that out there that they're whipping people.
Oh.
The federal agents are whipping people on horseback at the border. That's what's going on there.
Oh. Is that right?
That's worse. It's worse than slavery.
Yeah.
What they were doing there. Also known as riding a horse for 16 fucking hours, trying to catch people illegally trying to enter a sovereign nation, okay?
Add the heat on top of that.
Yeah, in 107-degree weather, in your fucking uniform, which sucks, okay, with a gun belt on and all the things that go with being a cop, on horseback, in the desert, in 107-degree weather, trying to catch people by the droves that are illegally entering the country that you've sworn to protect. But on horseback, bro. Like what? Is this like the 1800s, dude?
That's what you start thinking. Like when you're saying that, I'm thinking like 1800s, like caveman shit.
These people are on horseback out here getting people, man. Like, dude. Because they have to be, because there's such remote areas of the border they can't get to in vehicles.
I bet they could fuck shit up.
Bro.
I bet they're tough motherfuckers. Boy.
Bro, I'm not a horse rider, but I know people that do, and riding a horse for a long-ass time sucks, man. After a while, you got to be strong, bro. These are police officers. Not only did they have to live in a shithole town in the middle of nowhere, okay?
Get paid shit,
get treated like shit, have to live in a shitty area, okay? They're border patrol. It's like being in the military and you get stationed at a dumpy base. It sucks, okay? It just happens that all Army bases are in shitty places to live. Like, who the hell wants to live in Fort Stewart, Georgia? Or Fort Hood, Texas? Like, nobody wants to live in El Paso, right? Like, I'm sure there are people that love El Paso and want to live there, but you get what I'm saying.
I followed the
point. You understand the point, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, these people are federal agents. They would much rather be stationed in Miami.
I'm sure they would be.
Yeah, they would. God bless Del Rio. It's great, but it's like, it's like military towns are. There's a lot of fast food. There's like, it's not a busy place. There's not a Publix there that you can go shopping at. There's not a mall. Like it's just a small, poor town, border town, man, where it's just fast food runs everything, and that's it. It's it. It's pawn shops. It's fast food chains. That's what it is, man. So, and it's illegal immigrants. So these people are on horseback. So I'm on Tucker Carlson, and it's like, bro, I had to talk about that, man. I actually cut Tucker off at the end.
very end, yeah. So can I get one last thing?
I said, I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Yeah. Kamala Harris, what she's doing to these police officers, making them out to be racist and that they're whipping people, is despicable. And she should be forced to step down as the vice president. These people sacrifice everything for this country and to protect this country. These people are getting diseases you never even heard of on the border from people coming from third world countries. They're bringing that home to their families. You know what I'm saying? They're working crazy hours, all hours in the night, in crazy-ass situations with people that are not just coming from Mexico and Guatemala. You're talking about terrorists coming from Syria, coming from Iran, coming from China, bro. Like, these people are coming here, they're playing for keeps. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, the cartels who will literally find out where you live and murder your family here. And sleep like babies.
You bring that up. I had a real narco in, and he's done. He did his time. He did a gazillion years.
Yeah.
You know, changed his life. Completely different guy. Did a boatload of time.
Yeah.
And he was saying he was one of the biggest. He was with Chapo and all those.
Yeah.
Those people. And he was saying that the drugs that come in from Colombia to the U.S. is completely different than the drugs in every other country. They add an addictive for the U.S. because they want to get rid of the U.S.
Yeah.
And this is like I saw his paperwork.
Sure.
So it wasn't like made up. It was federal paperwork. I saw it. I looked up the case number, and then I saw it on the FBOP website. So it's legit.
Yeah.
And he was saying that all the drugs that were coming in his days, in the 80s, from Colombia to America, they would put additives into it so Americans would get addicted to take them out.
Just like China's doing with fentanyl.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pouring across the American border. Pouring.
Yeah.
And people don't even talk about like cops that accidentally touch it and die.
Yeah.
Overdose immediately.
Suspect you're dead.
Just literally, your ex gets a piece, you have it on your glove, and you wipe your face, and then you're overdosing.
Now, when you're cleaning all this up, aren't you worried about all that disease out there? I mean, 25 tons of trash in Baltimore, 26 tons, I'm sorry, however many tons in
Bro, I'm a garbage
Texas.
man. Bro, I literally was.
You probably got an immune system like a steel block.
When I first started All American Sanitation, man, we were running a truck with a dump trailer, picking up 530 homes of garbage, curbside residential garbage from a mobile home community, and literally throwing the trash, like valet trash, throwing the trash into a trailer and then taking it to a compactor and just to beat waste management, to be able to beat their price.
If you lived through that, okay.
Yeah, but dude, I was in the Army, bro. Like I was in Missoula. I mean, what?
Shithole?
Bro. Shithole. I mean, it's just beyond that. It's Iraq.
Yeah.
It's the beach club. It's the big boys beach club, man. It's nuts. But Del Rio, bro, like insane. I forgot what the hell we were even talking about. I just forgot. Well, I lost track.
Yeah, no. You were saying that you're there, you're doing the cleanup. You talk to Tucker. You get your last bit at the end. Yeah.
So about the people.
The people. Yeah.
So I cut him off because I had to get it off my chest about Kamala Harris. About that was just despicable,
Absolutely.
bro. These people, it's brutal. Their job, man, is brutal, and they do it, and they do it proudly, and that kind of leads into like kind of what they were going back and forth. If you saw that video that just posted, it's all over the internet, of that guy that was, talking to his Border Patrol agents, been there for 31 years, and these guys are biting back on him, pushing back hard. Like, this is not what I signed up for, shit. And when there's that kind of fracturing in an organization like the Border Patrol, it's bad, bro.
Yeah. The one guy, he just got his own show on Fox. I forget his name. I apologize. But he came on, and I believe he went to Texas and talked to the current sheriff there. And basically, he was pleading for help.
Yeah.
Did you see him on Fox? I think it was yesterday.
Who is this?
I can't remember.
Is it Bill Malou? He works for Fox News?
No. I think he was in Texas.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a sheriff.
Oh, yeah. Saying we need help. Yeah,
saying we need help. And he was saying that the mayor or the governor, whoever's making the rulings, God knows who it is, he was saying that person got into position from people with money that want him to go a certain direction.
Sure.
And then he's not, that governor or mayor, I don't want to misquote because, I caught it at the end, is pushing, like, band-aiding the border to the public.
Yeah.
Because they pushed him in there.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear that, and then I hear you and read all about you, it's like we're not just talking about somebody threw a bag of trash, right? I mean, we're talking about serious shit.
We're
and
talking
now you
years.
got kids and mothers and humans,
Yeah, bro.
So, John, how do you think the border gets corrected, other than a new election? Or I mean, how do you do
You
it?
got to build the wall. You got to build the wall. It has to be built.
Well, that thing ain't happening in the next 2
Bro,
or 3 years.
Of course not, because they want the people here.
Now, how bad do you think this is going to get over the next 2 or 3 years?
It's going to be insane, man.
You think we could bring it back?
Yeah, we're Americans, man. We can bring anything back. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I wanted to hear from a guy like you.
Yeah, bro. Of course we can bring it back, man. There's no choice, but we got to get these. They're scumbags. We've got to get them out. They're traitors. They're communists. They're traitors to the American people. They are. They are not doing what's in the best interest of the American people. You can't tell me that I can't eat in a restaurant in New York City without having a vaccine card. But people from third world countries can come across the border illegally into our country. You're going to in-process them. And that entire time, none of them are getting vaccinated. You're going to put them on buses and planes and fly them into communities without testing them or vaccinating them. And who knows, besides COVID, what else they're bringing with them from these third world countries. A lot of the sicknesses that were eradicated are not eradicated and are making their way back here again because we just have an open border, man. And people are coming from some really desperate locations and bringing some nasty shit with them. And so, yeah, like, it's bad, bro. You can't eat in a restaurant without showing a card that you have a chemical in your body. So that's how you know it's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
When they're going to let people come in from other countries, no masks, no tests, no nothing, and then drop them into cities around the United States in the middle of the night, okay? Like, that's when you know the whole thing is bullshit, man. Everything you've been told is a lie. Because if it was really bad, they would be stopping those people from coming into this country.
Yep.
That's it.
There's no other way to state it, okay?
There's not.
And
if it was that bad,
yeah,
they would not allow 2 million plus people to come in here in a year illegally from nations where not only is COVID run rampant, but other very bad sicknesses who haven't seen the light of day in years in America, they're coming here too now. So, like, you're just cool with that. Like, how can you tell me to wear a mask when you catch these people, they're in the Border Patrol facilities, they're giving our Border Patrol agents sicknesses, you know what I'm saying? And, like, they don't care about those people. It doesn't matter.
And you know what? And this continues to go on, and it goes on and on and on. And it constantly goes through my mind. The military, the cops that they defund, that risk their life every day. They never know who they're pulling over. Billy Flanagan was in here. He was an NYPD cop.
Yep.
Cardillo was a cop.
Yep.
And these guys risk their life every fucking day. And the disrespect that they're getting right now is unbelievable.
Dude, it's next level, man. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
Every minute of every day, they're risking their life. You never know who you're running up against.
Cops can't be drafted.
I know.
I don't understand what people don't understand about that.
I know.
I've been in countries where the police they have no authority over shit.
Yeah.
The people just do whatever they want.
It's getting like that now.
Complete chaos there. And that's why I was there in the first place.
Right.
Right? So, like, if there's no cops here, people don't have to be cops. That's what people don't understand. Like, you don't have to become a police officer. If people just stopped choosing to be police officers, what would happen?
Complete chaos. Complete chaos.
It's not like, if we go to war, you can be drafted.
Right.
They can't draft a cop.
I had a cop in last week, a police officer, former police officer, and he was a lieutenant. And I said, sir, who would want to be a cop right now? If your dream was to be a cop and you love it, one, you're not going to get paid enough as of now, really, to support your family if you have one.
Yeah.
Two, you're going to risk your life every day. And if I'm a parent, if that's what my son or daughter wants to do, of course I would never stop he or she of doing so. But I would say, hey, you might want to think of something else right now because you're going to risk your life every day for little to nothing.
Yeah.
So, again, who would want to be a cop? And pretty soon nobody's going to want to be a cop.
If it keeps going this way, it's going to be like that. My father didn't want me to be a cop when I retired from the Army.
And that's your father
who's a cop.
Who's a cop.
20 years. But he's like, John.
Exactly what I just said.
Back when I was a cop, it was different, bro.
Yep.
There was respect.
Yep.
Okay? It was earned respect.
And it was both ways, too.
Yes, it was both ways. He goes, now it's like you kill a person legally in the line of duty, lawfully, right? And that person is a person of color, your life is destroyed.
Destroyed.
And they will have people outside of your mother's house.
Well, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
But what about all those cops?
One mistake.
What about all those cops that save people's lives that are getting paid, $25,000, $30,000 in some places a year?
Yeah.
That's before taxes, by the way.
Oh, of course.
And they're saving people, stepping in front of gunfire. That's not showed up.
Nope.
But one bad cop makes a bad decision, and who knows what the actual circumstances were. And there's bad cops.
100%. There's bad everything.
But there's a lot of great cops.
Mostly
but you
are
only
great.
hear the bad ones.
Of course, because good things don't sell ads on news media.
How fucking sick is that?
It's pretty fucking sick. It is, man.
And when we go back to your business, the moving company, I was reading about how you were talking on Newsmax, how shady it is.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about it. I know a guy, and what he would do was, and I would like you to elaborate and tell me some more shady stories about the moving business.
Sure.
You know? So what they would do is they would have a call center, right? And in the call, that was like the broker for you, say.
Yeah.
Okay, so I call the call center. I tell the call center, look, I'm going to move from Florida to New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the call center tells me, okay, it's going to be $1,000. But just the number. I'm just throwing a number. But what the call center would do would be they would look to see where I'm moving in New York.
Yeah.
And based on the wealth of that area would be the price that they would give to me.
Yeah.
So if I live in a poor area or a middle class area, they would say $500. If it's a high end area, $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the customer pays them $1,000. The driver, as in you, goes and delivers this thing, the whatever furniture. Okay, they go to drop it off. The call center is telling the truck driver, "Hey, they're going to give you $500 when you get there." They go drop off the furniture. The woman or man comes out and says, "Thank you very much." Truck driver says, "Hey, do you have that $500?" The man or woman who just got their furniture says, "Well, I just paid the company $1,000."
Mm-hmm.
And then what they would do is they would keep this scam going on and on and on.
Yep.
And then eventually the merchant would shut down. They'd open another LLC under another, John Doe's name.
Yeah.
Now they have credit card merchant again, and the cycle would repeat itself.
Yeah.
And this happened over and over and over again. They get popped, they get indicted, boom. The next one pops up and it continues.
Yeah. And they're just ripping and running to making a killing, bro.
And
These
I thought
brokers
it was so fucking insane that they literally look at the exact address that they live.
Of course, you look your house up on
income,
Zillow.
And then you base the price on that.
You can literally look, if a person says I live at 123 Main Street in Smithville, Tennessee, you look that address up, it's almost certainly their house is on Zillow.
Sure.
So you can see what they spent on it, so you can tell what they're worth, and then you can, half the time the pictures are theirs, and it's their stuff in there, so you can see what they have. The big scam in the moving industry is really, so what happens is brokers create all these landing pages. People are searching for moving, they go to the landing page. They book the job with this broker. The broker acts as if they are the actual moving company that's physically going to be moving you. They're not the moving company. They're just a broker. They have moving companies that work for them, okay? So just like anything in life, if you've ever worked a job or something where you sub stuff out to people, you're only as good as your subcontractors, right? So by you brokering the job, the person on the end of the phone thinks you're the moving company. When something goes wrong, they're calling you. And then you're like, I'm sorry, but I'm just a broker. It's not my moving company. You need to call the moving company. The moving company's like, I'm not fucking answering the phone. Screw these people, right? And now the broker is like, well, fuck. Now these people are calling me. That's when they're like, oh, well, I'm filing, closing the business, and I'm just going to start over under a new name. So the cycle continues. But what happens is the broker bids the job, gets it to the long hauler. The long hauler, when they get there, they'll do like a FaceTime quote, or they'll base it off of square footage in your house. But it's not a binding estimate. Binding means I can't change the price unless you say something different than what you're telling me right now. If what you say is true, and this is what the price is going to be when I get there. So when the guy gets there, he's like, oh, no, you added this, that, and this. The price is now $5,000 more, and if you don't give me that money, I'm not going to unload your shit. So
you just said it way better than me.
Yeah. So now they have your stuff, and you're held hostage to that. And the other scam is you give a big down payment up front, and then you never see them again. Then the moving day comes and they don't show up. And then you're like, where's the movers? You call the number, it's disconnected, or they just don't answer. And now you have to move because you closed on your house and you're scrambling for a moving company now. They have your money, but you're like, there's nothing I can do. I have to get my shit out of here. And you'll pay any amount of money because your house is closing. You have to be out.
Yeah, you got nowhere to live and nothing, right?
So then they're calling any moving company that can get to show up. And then they're like, I'm going to go after the other company later once we're done, but I got to get my stuff out of here. The problem is that they're never going to get anything from that other company. That other company just took their money. And that's the end of the story.
What is one of the shadiest things you've seen in the movie? Like one that just really sticks out in your head?
It's always, the shadiest things are always when people scam old people.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Bro, it's like, come on, man. I just moved a lady who told me like she lost her deposit with another moving company, and she saw me on Fox News, and then she knew that I could be trusted because she saw me and all the things that we did. She's like, but someone, they just took $5,000 from me. And I can't find them. They won't answer the phone. I'm just like,
how do you do that to an elderly person?
Elderly person, man.
My grandfather used to beat my ass if I didn't. If any person older than me was talking and I interrupted, he would give me that look, and I knew, fuck, when I get home, I'm dead.
Oh yeah, bro.
If I didn't open the door for a woman, dead.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
the same exact way I was raised.
Yeah.
The same exact way.
You never interrupt an elder because they know more than you, and don't think that you know more than that.
It's called manners.
That's like embedded in my head.
Yeah. It's called manners.
Yeah.
Get your elbows off the table.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a smack.
I'm sitting here right now, and every time I go like this, sometimes leaning, I'm like, shit.
I think the same thing.
I used to get the gravy spoon.
Yeah.
Like if I did, I would get that shit.
Yeah.
My mom would do.
Dude, my mom used to whip my ass too. Right? She's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
She'd whip my ass. Sometimes it was worse than my dad.
My mom
I would prefer my dad to whip my ass over my mom sometimes.
I would too, because my mom wouldn't stop.
Bro.
My mom would just go
give a
ham.
Shit. Yeah, bro. So, but that's the worst calls were too. Also, like, no, your dad whip your ass, bro.
Yeah.
Like, straight up whip your ass. So you get that. Your mom says when your dad gets home, he's gonna whip your ass.
Yeah.
And you get to sit with that all day, thinking about that ass whipping that's coming. That's worse than getting an ass whipped. The anxiety of knowing what's about to happen to you is torture, bro.
Oh, man. I know.
And it forces you to not do stupid shit.
It does. Sometimes it takes two of them. But after the second one, that was it. No way.
Bro.
Most times it's just one.
Yeah. A good one will send the right message, right? So it's like, that's how we were raised, man. It's a certain way you do things and a certain way you treat people. And I try to do that through my business, man. You know what I'm saying? I just
do.
Bro, I just take care of people, man. If we scratch something of yours, I will tell you about it and fix it.
Because you're a man.
Because I'm not going to scratch something and my guys aren't going to hide it. And then 3 months later, when you move it because you don't like it where it is and you see this big scratch or a crack in it, and you're like, that son of a bitch in moving company broke this and tried to hide it on me.
And I'm never going to hire them again, and I'm going to tell 50 other people that are going to tell 50 more people.
It's always about how you respond to the bad.
And to me, that's unethical. If you fuck something up, it happens.
Bro,
you're moving tons of shit.
Bro, if I'm moving you from New York to Florida, sometimes things get glass breaks.
Right. Like he just hit his head on the monitor.
Correct.
I yelled at him for a second.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. Whatever.
Bro, it happens, bro, right? But it's how you react.
Yeah.
It's how you react to the mistake that people love. When you take care of it and you do it with a quickness, that shows that you care about them. You value their stuff. You want to take care of it as if it was your own. Like if someone broke a piece of glass, I'm like immediately getting it to the glass people. I'm immediately having my guys, hey, that dresser had a scratch in it, bring it back to the shop. We're going to get it repaired like new. If you don't like it after we repair it, we'll replace it. Like, you just got to do that, man.
See, that's what I miss.
You got to do that.
Like when he did that, he said sorry 5 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he cares. Like, and because he was raised with manners.
He respects you.
Right. And I respect him and I respect you.
Yeah.
And all of us in this room now, we were raised like that. And that is just going out the fucking window.
It is.
It really has. And it's funny because I'm from up north. And you said that the up north is like Russia is turning into like the white Russian communism.
Yeah, it is, man. It's insane. I mean,
can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So just like you can't do anything in New York City, right? Like they're literally tracking people, like where they're going. Like if you fly to New York City, like you have people tracking, like contact tracing you.
Yeah. What are they doing with the flight? Like I only saw bits and pieces of it. And then like everything else, there's 7 different ways they put it.
Yeah, like...
So what are they doing with this flight tracking thing? Do you even know exactly what they're doing?
When you're talking about with COVID positive people?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's always about getting your information, man, and putting you into a database, and so they can keep track of you and make a profile on you that you're a certain way, and this is who you are based on... It's what China does to their people.
Right.
It's the same type of thing, but the American way, you know? They're doing that now in New York.
The shady way, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they know they can't do it the way that China's doing it because China's a communist shithole and they don't care a single fuck about their people, and all they do is want to record their every move. And like, if you jaywalk in China and they catch you on video, your credit score gets lowered. You're less of a person now because you don't follow the law, right? Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm trying to get across the street.
I saw. I think it was on Joe Rogan that it said your credit score might be affected by your browsing history. How about that shit?
Imagine that. Whoa, bro.
It's no longer to me, imagine that. It's like, wow, this might really be happening.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It is, man. Like, it all really started, too, with the Patriot Act and getting that approved.
Yep. Right.
Under the auspices of terrorism.
That was their way in.
Opened the door for them to spy on American citizens, NSA, to track like they were doing to Tucker Carlson. They were tracking his emails and reading his emails, and he found out because someone in the NSA reached out to him and said, hey, they're tracking your emails.
And nothing happens.
No,
Nobody goes to fucking jail, nothing.
He's an American citizen.
It's illegal.
Because he was trying to set up a meeting with Putin to talk to him about for his news show.
So what? He's not allowed to talk to Putin?
No, obviously what they were going to try and do
I
is
know.
he's a Putin stooge, and he worked for Putin. But that obviously got upended because someone with a backbone said, "Hey, bro, they're doing this to you, but you didn't get that from me." And then next thing you know, he goes live on air with it and calls them straight out. They deny it, and then it was real.
I'll tell you what. When Tucker first came out, he seemed a little bit, just in my opinion, like a little uncomfortable in the position. Yeah. And then about 7 months in, I saw a change, and I thought, this guy's going to be fucking big. And fucking, lo and behold, 5 months later, top notch. And he asked the questions that we all wait for.
You ever seen the video of him fly fishing in Central Park?
Yeah, that's cool as shit.
I texted him about that, and I said, hey, man, I wanted to tell you, I watched that video of you fly fishing and that dude that walked up to you, and you were just cool. You literally almost had this dude fly fishing. And I said, that's how genuine of a person you're a good dude, man.
I got that Fox Nation thing just for him because he has all those specials on there.
Yeah.
And he just seems like an approachable type of guy. And to me, that just makes me like him even more. You know?
He's a great guy.
And I love the questions he asks because he don't give a fuck.
No, bro, he just crucified Ted Cruz a couple of weeks ago.
Him.
Literally melted him.
Did you see? Oh my God.
I texted him about it. I won't share what his reply was. I'll show you off air what he replied to me back. And I basically said, hey, Tucker, I appreciate you, doing what you did to Ted Cruz. And I said that, but I also appreciate that Ted Cruz had the balls to come on your show and take it like a man.
Hey, you got to give him that.
I do.
You have to give him that.
Good for him, man.
But he did get crucified.
And for good reason. He's calling insurrectionists terrorists.
Right.
And
but
then
at least he took it like a man.
He came on, and, I wasn't happy with what his response was. Like, oh, anybody that hits police officers, they're a terrorist, in my opinion. I've been calling them like, oh, yeah, bro, so if you're shit-faced and you bump into a cop in a club or you hit a cop because you're drunk, you're now a terrorist, or did you just get shit-faced?
That's insane. A lot of people have addiction issues, and they don't know what they're doing. That's not a fucking terrorist.
It's not a terrorist, bro. You know what a terrorist is
you guys are in the military. I just know
do.
from what I read.
Some dude that fought a cop one time or pushed a cop or hit a cop or whatever, that is definitely not.
They're not blowing up fucking buildings, right?
Come on, bro.
Come on.
They're not sneaking bombs on their feet on planes.
I got to ask you this. What do you think about the war on drugs?
I think it's useless.
I agree.
It's 100% waste of...
I think you should make it all fucking legal, and this is why. Because then it's regulated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah, you can tax it.
And you can tax it. And if they make whatever drug legal today, I'm not going to go do it. You're not going to go do it. He's not going to go do it.
The people that are doing them are going to do it.
Right? And at least they go do it, and they know it's what it says on, per se, the label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it has to be regulated.
Well, look at Portugal. Their crime rate's down 80%, but they took that tax money and invested it in real rehabilitation, not go sit here for a week, let's bill the insurance $30,000, and then go back out and we'll see you in another month. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to have trustworthy, honorable people in positions of power that can to really make things, take shape that are good for people. Like, dude, the VA hospital, bro. Like, they're pumping drugs into people with PTSD, but will not allow people to smoke marijuana.
It's crazy.
But they will give you something that's like heroin and then take it away from you, and then you're hooked. Yeah. And now you're on heroin. Now you're a heroin addict, and now you're sleeping under a bridge, and you're a veteran begging for food on a corner.
When you could just give some high-quality indica and
that has been designed.
It's a fucking plant.
Yeah, but has been designed in a laboratory to check certain things that like they've got it so dialed in now that they can, it affects certain people in different ways. If you have this wrong with you, then you should use this. It's like, but they give you pills.
Yeah.
Like, bro, name another hospital in the world where people go to kill themselves.
None.
There you go. The only ones that happens in are hospitals that are run by the government.
That will be part 2 about all that, right?
Bro, it's just, it's like Ronald Reagan said, the government spends money like drunken sailors, but that would be disrespectful of drunken sailors because they earn their money, right? Like
right.
The government just does those things. Like they think they're making it better and they're making it far worse. Like it's always worse.
Always.
It's never better that way when the government gets involved, ever.
Never is.
It's just not, bro. Everyone knows that's the truth. And it just never is better. But you know what? The mask, bro, they had to do something.
Had to.
What are they going to do? If they didn't do the mask, what exactly was the next thing they were going to do? They had to do it. So, like, I do get it to an extent. But then as time goes on and you understand that they don't work, then you find a way to make it better. Or like from Jump Street, if they wanted you wearing a mask, why didn't the government send 50 N95 masks to every American citizen, mail them to you in the mail, and say, if you're going to wear a mask, it's going to be the right one, at least the one that we think is the right one for right now until we get information that tells us otherwise.
That's what they should have done. They should have sent out the N95s because everybody knows that those were the best ones until they had a full conclusion of what was really going on. And to your point, these doctors coming out like Malone and the other ones, these guys never come out. These guys live in a lab.
Yes.
The reason why they're coming out is because they can't do their job. Know, and when you see guys that you never see, because they're not podcast guys, they're not interview guys, they live in a fucking lab.
That's their whole life.
And they're coming out because they can't do their job. They can't do what they love because they're not getting the right information. And it's a fucking shame. And it can only get better eventually, right?
Yeah. But people have to stand up and do things.
Yeah, like you.
Things. You have to do good in your community, man.
Yeah.
You can't. One thing I learned going through recruiting school in the Army was you can't just always take from a high school when you're recruiting. You can't just go there and the only reason you go to the high school is to recruit people from it. You have to go to the high school to do good things too, like volunteering with ROTC, going to football games, being in the community, talking to bullied children, like doing anything you can to help the school out and give back to the kids, even if they're going to join the Army or not. That is how you build trust. That's how you build a reputation that people know that they can come to you, good, bad, or indifferent, and you're going to give it to them straight up. Like when you just go to a school and just take and take and take and take and take, eventually it dries up.
It dries up, it wears out, and then nobody listens to you anymore.
Yeah, man. You have to go from a place of doing good. And if you come from a place of doing good, then it works better for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, the way that I market my company is by doing things good. I feel like if I can give back in the community, the right people are going to see my message and want to either work for me or use me as a bit, because it's hard to hire people. So I get people calling because they see what I'm doing and they want to be a part of that too. So it works for me solving problems as far as trying to hire people too. Because people want to work for my company now because they see all the good things that we're doing and the positive vibe that we're putting out there. And that attracts good, right? So it's like people want to be around people that do good things, and people want to do good things.
Well, you don't just say you do it. You actually physically go and do it. A lot of people say things. So when I think when people see that you actually do it, it is very attractive because everybody says, and does not do, and you do.
Yeah.
And you did what, 16 years in the military?
Yeah, 15 years, 7 months. Phew.
What was your specialty?
I started out in the infantry.
Mm-hmm.
I was an intel analyst for a short period of time.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I went into transportation, and then I went into recruiting. So when I was in transportation, I drove a colonel for like 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I had a plan. Like I initially went in the Army in 96 and I got out in 99. And then I came back in the Army. I missed it. I wanted to go back in. So when I went back in the Army, I went back in as a more mature adult, and I had a plan. And my plan was that I wanted to be a recruiter. that was the job that I felt I could touch and impact the most amount of people doing, was being a recruiter. And I really like talking, and I really like, as you can tell.
No, you're just a people person.
Yeah, I just like interacting with people, and I like, telling my story.
Positive.
Yeah, I love the Army. So my whole goal was to be a recruiter. So I knew to get there, I was going to need some influential people on my side. So when I got back in the Army, my first job was to be a driver of a colonel or a sergeant major, because I needed to make those connections to make sure that I could get to be a recruiter. So I knew that if I could do the right thing and I could meet enough high-ranking officers, at some point I would do a favor for them or multiple favors over the course of years. And then when I needed that favor to be called in to say, I need you to get me to Jupiter, Florida, where I'm from, because that's where I want to live in the Army. And that's my goal that I set before I came back in, was to be a colonel's driver, use that relationship to my advantage to get him to get me to be a recruiter and get me in the recruiting school, and then get me stationed in Jupiter, where I know I could just put a ton of people in the Army, because my entire network's from here. I grew up here almost my entire life. I went to elementary school and middle school, and high school. A lot of people that I went to high school with are teachers now in schools and are successful in the community. So I knew I could lean on those people to help me put people in the Army. And I really wanted to be a recruiter. And I know in the Army what happens when you become a sergeant. And I knew that was also the fastest way for me to get promoted to the rank of sergeant. I just knew, like, there's things that you need to do. You need to go to a board, and you have to sit in front of all these enlisted people, and they throw questions at you and rapid fire, and you have to answer them. But you have to be recommended to go to the board. Like, it's a whole
process.
And dude, it's just like anything in the world. The more people you know that have power,
networking's everything.
The better it's going to be for you and whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Right? Like they're going to help you get to where you need to go. And being a little bit more mature than I was when I was 18 years old, joining the Army, I just wanted to run through walls. I wanted to travel the world and go all over the place and be, just not live in my parents' house.
Yeah.
And not be told what to do anymore. Even though I was joining, something that tells you what to do every
single day. Yeah.
It wasn't my parents.
Glenn, what was your specialty in the Army or the military?
Yeah, I was 19K tanker.
Yeah, man. I was a tanker.
Driving big ass
M1 Abrams tanks. I drove a Bradley fighting vehicle. It's like a baby
that's
tank.
hot. That's hot. I was a M1A2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
man. So those things are nasty, bro. Fire on the move. Going like, how fast can they go? Like 60 miles an hour or something? 40
miles per hour. We had satellite and everything for it.
Nuts,
I think it goes 60 miles an hour.
Yep.
Driving, bro, spinning, firing on the move, the whole 9 yards.
If I can add, the turret was like 3 seconds turn around.
The what?
The turret.
Yeah.
What's a turret?
The turret where the cannon, where you're firing the rounds from, the thing that spins on top.
Oh, the thing that everybody sees on top? Yeah, I don't know.
It's called a turret.
I know when I'm playing the video game.
It's like on MRAPs on Humvees, the gunner that's on top, he's in a turret.
I got you. I remember I haven't played a video game in 20 years, but back in the day,
I'm super Tecmo Bowl. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, people died from that, but yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sucks, man. But so
not to be a downer, but the training, hey, they came out and be like, hey, turret, turn around, turret, turn around. They didn't do that. The head came out, head got crushed.
Yeah, man. Oof. Shit like that. Training accidents happen all the time.
Real life.
Out of planes, parachute don't open.
Yep.
Whatever. Dude, shit happens, man.
Hey, John, I used to be a rigger.
Oh my! Wow, you were a rigger?
Yep.
Dude, I almost was a rigger. $35,000? No, $25,000 bonus.
43 mics.
Yeah. You had to wear the red hat, right?
Yeah, 43 mics.
So his job was rigging parachutes for people to jump out of airplanes.
and I switched to tanker. So
think about that shit. You fuck up a rig, someone dies, they know exactly who it is because you have to put like an inspection thing in there and it goes back to, they know who the person is that packed it.
Fuck that. I don't want that job.
It's like being an air traffic controller.
Yeah.
Now I'm here with Tommy, the best.
Yeah.
The best of the best.
They're the only ones in the Army that wear a red baseball cap, not like a camo hat.
Yeah.
The red. If they're red hats, they're riggers.
That's interesting.
But one cool thing about being a rigger was you get to jump a lot out of airplanes. A lot.
Well, before he jumped, I became a tanker.
Yeah. So he went from one extreme to the next.
The next.
I almost,
opposites, right?
bro. When I went back in, I almost went back in as a rigger but the bonus was bigger for transportation, truck driver. And I had a CDL already.
So what the hell, right?
I was like, bro, I already have a CDL. The whole purpose of the school you go through to become a trucker is to get a CDL. Basically.
And you were in what? Kuwait, Iraq, France, Germany a bunch of times.
Yeah, I was stationed in Germany for 2 years, a little over 2 years. I was in Bosnia, Macedonia back in the late 90s.
Where is Wurzburg?
Wurzburg?
Where the hell's that?
It's in Germany. It's like an hour north of Frankfurt.
Oh,
it's a decent-sized city. It's pretty cool. Germany was great when I was there, man, but this is pre-9/11. It's a different Germany then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's different now. Like back then, you'd get to Germany and they would tell you, you got to worry about the Turks. There was a lot of Turkish population living in Germany at that time, and they did not like Americans at that time. So that was like your real concern, going out and drinking and stuff.
I remember the Turks. I remember hearing a lot about
stay away from the Turks. You know where their bars are and where they hang out. Stay away from them. You're good, right? So that was the problem now. Now, obviously, after 9/11, it's a totally different ballgame. So a lot of places you can't go, a lot of things you can't do when you're stationed over there. And not like most people aren't even stationed in Germany now. Like most of the bases in Europe have closed. There's very few that's still open.
What was the favorite, out of the countries you've been and visited, maybe not really like visited, but visited while working in the military? What was your favorite place?
Germany.
Yeah.
Germany, the food was awesome. It was super clean there. People were super respectful. The Autobahn.
Autobahn's that's kind of
yeah, man. You get to drive one time we got to drive a V12 Mercedes going like 170 miles an hour, bitch. Just balls to the wall cruising, and you're getting passed by people on crotch rockets, passing you going 130, 140 miles an hour, zipping by you.
Now, what's their like accident rate on that Autobahn?
It's very few and far in between.
Now, how can you explain that?
So the most of the accidents are Americans. They're on the Autobahn.
Really?
Yeah, so they go to school. They go to like a real driving school in high school, not like driver's ed.
Oh, okay. Not a driver's ed where a guy comes in and
old
says...
dude who's,
yeah, he can barely walk.
Smoking cigs, teaching you how to drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to pay a lot of money for their license.
Good.
It's it's a couple of grand to get a license. It means something. Like, I don't know if it still exists, but I believe when I was over there, if you got a DUI, you lose your license for life.
Well, if you're going to allow people to go 170, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, man. And people stay in the right lane. Like, it's not a game. Like, you're in the right lane, bro. If you're not driving fast, your ass is in that right lane. Yeah. That's just the end of or you're going to kill somebody.
Right.
It's a respect thing. They just stay to the right.
Fear.
Like, you pass someone, you immediately get over.
Yeah, you get the fuck over.
You don't stay in that fucking lane and keep going. Even if you see a bus way like a half a mile up, you just get over. You don't keep staying in that lane just to pass the bus a half a mile down the road. Because if you look in your rear view and you see blinking lights and it's a 750 IL, it's going 140, 50, 60 miles an hour, ripping, you got to get out of the way.
Yeah, because they don't have any governors on those
They're
cars.
just running, bro. Crotch rockets doing 200 miles an hour, man.
I couldn't wait to ask you that question when I saw Germany, because I thought in my mind, I said, I bet their accident rate and crash rate is a lot less.
I survived an accident on the Autobahn.
Did you?
Yeah.
What happened?
We were driving to Frankfurt to go out and party. We were all pre-drinking except for the driver. He wasn't drinking. We rented a Ford Escort wagon. It was the last rental car on the lot. It was a Ford 1997 Ford Escort wagon, brand new, baby. She was clean. So there's the last car on the rental, like, 'cause we used to rent cars back then. Like, you could just rent a car and drive wherever, right? So and then a lot of people had Beamers. Like, you would be passed down. If your 2 years is up, you're going back to the United States. You sell your old 80s Beamer to the next person coming in.
Oh, shit.
Keep passing down like these
that's
three.
Cool.
Yeah, like, so all these, you have like a 325 M series from like 1984 that was fast as hell that like 15 other Army dudes have owned over the years. So like, you're 2 years up, you're going back to America, you sell your car to the guy that's getting stationed in Germany for the same amount you bought it for.
You guys are funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
So anyway, we rent this car. We're driving on the Autobahn, and we're coming up behind someone, and we're blinking the lights. It was a German dude, and he wouldn't get over. Surprisingly, we get right up on his ass. And we're like, blank, 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 blank. So he goes to get over finally, and we punch it. I'm in the front passenger seat. 3 guys are in the back seat, and then you have the station wagon portion of it. So we go to pass him, and the guy changes lanes back over into the back of our car, forces, like spins us out, like a spin maneuver almost. Like he changed lanes back into the fast lane before we had passed him and just pushed us into the wall. We go over the wall, get hit by a truck, spins us back the way we were coming. And the dudes that were in the back seat were in the hatch, like in the station wagon, the wagon portion of it. And I was wearing my seatbelt. The driver was wearing a seatbelt. They were all knocked out. I finally come to. No one's awake yet. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I crawl out my window and I pull the driver out. Everyone's still alive, but everyone comes to, and then we're pulling. Now the car's smoking. So now I get the driver out. He's like, what the fuck happened? We're all like bleeding. So we start to pull the guys out of the back window, right? Because the car is just destroyed. So these three dudes are our buddies are in the back, and they're like disheveled, so no broken bones.
Wow.
No, nothing. We had whiplash and some cuts.
What were you driving again?
A Ford Escort station wagon, and we were going like 120 miles an hour, bro.
Sounds like
max.
A damn safe car, man.
To go as fast as that car could go.
And I bet that was like 119.
Maybe it was like, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was like, 105.
It was probably like trying to get from 104 to 105.
Brand new though. It's a brand new car.
Yeah.
Brand new car. So, but we survived. We had to go. My mom got that phone call. Said your husband here. Your son is in. A little weird. Your son has been involved in a car accident, and he's in a hospital. I was in some German hospital somewhere, and I literally was kissing the ground when we got out. I literally was kissing the Autobahn.
Bro, you were on the Autobahn, got hit, and then got hit by a fucking truck and made it.
Yeah. None of us got seriously injured.
Congratulations to all of you. So you it must have not have been your time, pal.
The guy was drunk.
Oh, on top of all that.
The old guy that hit into us, hit into us, he was drunk.
I got a lifetime warranty, so if you break it, I can get another one.
Sweet.
Good, you could break it if you want.
I could use a new one. So anyway, survive that. My mom almost flew to freaking Germany to make sure I was okay. My mom was losing her shit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but anyway, that Germany was great, man. The Autobahn, the food, they have wine festivals. Like every weekend's a different festival. They're very, proud people. The Oktoberfest, got to go to that. That was insane.
I bet that was badass, right?
Bro,
Germany, the Oktoberfest?
The real deal, not one of these German restaurants somewhere.
No. My friend flew there. I couldn't. My friend flew there. He said, he goes, yo, you don't know what you missed,
bro. People sleeping on the sidewalks, drunk, get up the next morning, just walk, you don't even brush your teeth or nothing. Walk right back in. Back at it.
How's that feel after a week? How about when it ends?
Dude, the hangovers.
On the couch.
But dude, you know what? Back then, I was 18, 19 years old.
You could handle it, yeah. It was like nothing.
Get up, ready to go.
2 Advil, some water.
Gatorade. Let's go.
Pedialyte.
Whatever, bro.
Whatever Germany has, right?
18, I'm ready to party.
So now you got 2 boys and 2 girls, right?
2 boys and 2 girls.
And 40 just turned 3.
40 just turned 3, bro. I got a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Lola's 11. Delilah's 9. John Jr. is 6, and Ford's 3.
Cool.
Girl, boy.
Got your hands full, boy.
I do.
I, of course, as luck would have it, not luck, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Of course I have a girl.
Yeah.
Of course it was my first as a girl. I knew that was coming.
There's no doubt about it. I knew the same thing.
Your first was a girl?
Yeah. And my second was a girl.
Oh, okay.
I would have kept having girls until I had a boy. We were having a boy.
I think that's the route I'm probably going to have to take.
Bro, you got to have a son.
I
love my girls. It's a different bond when your son carries your name, too. Like, my son's John Joseph Rourke II.
That's cool.
That's
fucking cool.
That means there's probably going to be a John Joseph Rourke III, and 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and so on. It's pretty cool.
See, this is my first one, so this is all weird to me. She's 1 month, 1 year, 4 months, so it's all weird to me.
Yeah.
My house went from bachelor pad to Kids R Us to now it's like I'll eat a granola bar and I might as well just throw it on the ground because what the fuck does it matter? I mean, these kids can destroy shit.
Bro,
but then you see a little you in them, and it's like, destroy it.
I did the same thing.
It's like, here's the wallet.
My boys like to smack my wife on the butt. I did the same thing to my mom when I was a kid. I used to smack her on the butt all the time, like, bah, 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 bah. Like, they do the same thing. She's like, oh my God, what is their obsession with hitting me in the butt? I'm like, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Just boys, man. They're into stuff. They're, fighting with, with picking fights with their sisters. He's just boys, they're rough, they're rugged. They want to throw things and break things. And
yeah, my daughter, she learned to throw now.
Yeah.
So now she'll go in her little toy chest and start chucking it at the dogs and laugh.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like she likes to see things break. She's like that. She likes to break shit. You know?
Kids, man, you like to see things break too. You got to remember, bro. Like they're just kids, man.
Yeah.
You were a kid too.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't get
hard
mad
because,
about nothing.
dude, it's you know what with kids, man. Sometimes kids can get you as angry as you've ever been and as happy as you've ever been.
100%.
It's the swings are crazy, man.
The swings are crazy. You know,
in an instant, you can get so mad.
You know, it's like shit.
Where I've never been this mad.
Yeah.
I never loved something more.
But then you get so mad. Like I said, I'm new to all this.
Yeah.
He's got 7 rounds.
Yeah.
You got 4.
Yeah.
This is round 1.
Yeah.
And I'll get mad. Like she'll take my AirPods or something I really need, or like a disc from one of these cameras, and I get so fucking mad. And then I look at her and I see me, and I'm like, fuck it. It's just a disc. Whatever. Keep it. Want 10 more? Take them. You know what I mean?
It's and it's if for anyone any fathers out there that are like neat freaks, clean freaks, I'm a clean freak. I'm like, bro,
I'm a mess. I'm clean, but I'm messy.
I'm really it's a little crazy.
OCD.
Yeah, bro. Like with sweeping and wiping things down and cleaning things and
I deal with that at home. So I'm the opposite. So I'm clean, like high gentle clean,
correct.
But I'm a mess. Like I'm left brain, right, whatever, where shit's everywhere.
Yeah.
At home, my significant other is everything has to be like this. This pen has to be here.
Yeah.
And that's you.
That's me, man. I'm constantly cleaning. Anyone that knows me or is listening to this that knows me knows that I'm all about that cleaning.
Well, that's good for your business. That's a good pitch for the business too, right?
Yeah,
it really is. It coincides.
It's a little crazy, man. Like I'll be at other people's houses and I'll be like, hey, man, where's your broom mat? Let me pick that up for you real quick. Let me just hit this floor real quick. I just something about me, but
I live with it.
When you have kids and things are constantly being messy.
I bet you went fucking crazy in the beginning.
You have to it's called adjusting and being a dad and understanding that they're kids and kids make messes and that you have to let go a little bit from your control and how, when it's just you and your wife, everything's the way that you guys want it. Yeah. When you have kids, it's never the way you want it.
John, I got to be honest with you. It took me a good 6-7 months to adjust because everything changed. There was no more movies, no more getting through an entire movie, no more dinners, just easy go to dinner and stuff. You know what I mean?
And depending on the kind of parent you are, if you're a more hands-on parent than some are, like we didn't let any of our kids cry it out. Some parents let their kids cry it out. Our kids slept and we co-sleep. We co-sleep our children. So our children slept in bed with us until like 4 or 5. Like my boys still sleep in bed with us. I start them out from their bed and then they're in my bed in an hour. 2 hours later, they're in my bed. But so it's more of we were more of hands-on parents. Like we took our kids out of school and homeschooled them.
Sure.
Right. So like it's a different, more intense parenting style that we have. And it's much harder on you emotionally and mentally than it is for, say, parents that are okay with just listening to their kid cry endlessly for hours until they just fall asleep in their bed.
Yeah.
Like we just weren't parents like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that because that's how I was raised and I'm fine. It's just that's not who we are. So that, it causes more stress and more...
overall, right?
But it's just a lot. We put
more work. Maybe.
It's more effort. You're putting way more effort into, like
being a parent.
Yeah, man, it's hard, dude, and it's hard too when you're running a business. You know what I'm saying? My wife was a family photographer, and once we went to homeschooling, she could no longer do that because we had to make a decision whether, I have to work harder and try and make more money. So we can continue the lifestyle that we have. So my wife can homeschool our children because we cannot have them on a computer or wearing a mask. Like on a computer with a teacher, like learning that way in front of a computer for 8 hours a day or in a classroom with a mask on their face for 8 hours a day. And we just could not do it.
Yeah, and to those who don't, I respect anybody's 100%. Choice, but I'm with you. For me, and for the other way, either whatever you decide as a parent is what you decide. And that's 100%. What America's all about. You have the choice.
That's so cool.
I would do the same thing as well. But, if my best friend did the other way, hey.
I don't look at anybody any different. Who the hell am I to judge someone else, bro?
Damn right.
I'm nobody.
As long as your friend or that person's loyal to you and honest with you and they keep their word, who gives a fuck what
I don't
left, right, blue, green,
bro,
whatever.
You parent your kids however the hell you want to. I'll never tell you what you're doing's wrong, man. However you think is the right way is the right way. But our way of doing it was different. Like my wife just shut her business off.
Yeah.
And she was really good at what she did. She made good money at doing what she did, but it wasn't as important as our kids.
Right.
Their education and their mental well-being far surpassed.
My accountant for years, very good friend of mine, his daughter has the bad diabetes. I think it's type 2.
Type 2 or type 3.
Whichever one is the bad one. And they made the decision to take once this whole thing hit and this whole, virtual thing and all these mandates and this and that, and they decided to do the same. They took their son out and their daughter. And what they did was they did the homeschooling full time. She quit her job. She had a decent job, but like you said, you can't do both. And they did that. And then what they did to keep them social was keep them in extracurricular activities.
Yeah, that's what we do.
But the homeschool was
baseball.
at home. Yeah. And I have a feeling that that's the route we're probably going to end up going.
Yeah. And who
the hell knows?
If you don't, there's lots of classical academies out there that are teaching classical American history educations that are not mass. You just got to look in where you're from and try to find, places like that.
Yeah.
That where your kids can go. And if you don't trust any of those places, I mean, there's literally teachers that you saw the stories giving kids vaccines.
I know.
Like, I just read a story a couple of days ago where they convinced a little girl that she was a boy. Teachers.
I know.
And COVID actually, and her having to be home and take school from home actually saved this girl, because the more she was away from those influential people, the less she wanted to become a different gender.
Between that and them giving Krispy Kremes to get the banger. Did you see that?
What? Oh yeah, passing out Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah, you got a half dozen if you went in and got the bang.
In Seattle, they were giving away free joints.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you could get a joint and then beer too. You get free beer for if you get the needle.
Wow.
Someone actually, a municipality or a city gave $1 million to someone.
What?
Yet they said if you get a vaccine and you fill your name out on this thing, one of you is getting $1 million.
Wow. How is that not illegal? I mean,
Bro, for something that you're still getting COVID with.
And then
they sold the vaccine as you're not going to be able to give COVID or get it anymore.
Right.
They said that.
The fucking guy who made it, Malone, came out and said who made the RNA, the base of it, is Dr. Malone.
He said, under no circumstances do you give that mRNA vaccine to your children. There are no circumstances that exist where you should do that.
He said it on Rogan, and then he went on Fox News, and he
Laura
said...
Ingraham show.
Laura Ingraham, and he went on, who's before Laura? Hannity?
Tucker Carlson, too.
Tucker. He went on Tucker, and he said on Tucker, well, the information's out, and some other guy tried to dodge him, and did you see him? And he
owned
it. He owned it.
He goes, well, my name's on the patent,
so
I consider myself as the creator of this.
Yeah, he goes, I think what you said was very disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm the creator of this. I've been doing this 30 years and start rattling all fucking and just own this guy in 5 seconds.
So much for that, dude. And I've seen him on Tucker. He's a regular. I haven't seen him since, but
he got eaten alive is what happened. And Malone said, it doesn't work, period.
Yes.
The information's out. It doesn't work.
Absolutely does not work.
And that's the guy who made it.
Yep.
So when a guy who develops it.
What more do you need? Do you need a government official who doesn't know shit about shit to tell you that it works? Or I don't know, the creator of it says under no circumstances should you give this to a child.
And he went further and said it doesn't work, period. He said there's no reason to mandate this because it doesn't protect you from it. It doesn't protect you from it. It doesn't protect others from getting it. And it doesn't protect you from getting it again or any of the other shit.
Hey, so
he was in Japan making another one.
Yeah, so why don't you see anyone talk about COVID deaths anymore? Remember when there was a ticker on the TV?
Yeah.
Like a literal ticker of deaths, right?
Yeah.
Where are the people that are dying now?
Well,
okay, but then they're going to say, well, they're not dying because of the vaccine, right? Is there any scientific evidence to back up those words, or those just sound like words you just put together and then said them?
I'm going to go with choice B.
Can you show me any study that actually proves that the vaccine really does limit your chances of death?
Capital N and capital No, and I've read book after book after book, and I've watched every one of these guys that came out. The other one, I think,
Israeli studies.
McConnell came out, and then he got sued for $250,000. They're trying to take his license, McConnell, and he had a bunch of great information. He's another one you would never see in a gazillion years out of that box.
Yep.
You know?
So that's the problem, is that now they're getting rid of the monoclonal antibodies. You can't get them anymore because you can't have a vaccine as there's treatments.
And that was the best thing.
I got monoclonal antibodies at one of Ron DeSantis's places after I got COVID. Before I went to the cleanup in Del Rio, after 5 days, I go, this shit's not getting better. I'm going to go get these antibodies. 2 days later, I felt great.
And that's what everyone says that has gotten it. Every single person. And every single person, I probably know 70 people that got it.
Yeah. I got it twice.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't get it twice.
I got it twice. I got the OG in February of 20, and then I got the Delta.
Oh, you got the Delta?
Yeah.
Which one was worse?
The original.
Really? Worse than the Delta?
But that's how viruses work. Right. When they mutate, they get weaker.
Yeah.
It'll never be as strong as it originally was because they get weaker every time they
have to mutate.
That's why no one's dying. Because it's not a dying worthy virus now. It's literally nature's vaccine. It was created by God or whoever your God is to literally bless everyone with natural immunity.
But if you're wearing all this shit on you, you can never build natural immunity. Right?
Bro.
I mean, this isn't rocket fucking science. It's really not. I mean,
there's literal tests now that are coming out that are showing that people that are vaccinated are dying at a higher rate than people that are not vaccinated.
I really believe we could have a chimpanzee and he would understand what we're saying to him.
Dude, no one that's 75% of all people that died from COVID had 4 or more comorbidities. More than 7 out of 10.
It's on
people. And the average age of death is 74 years old.
I know.
74, which just happens to be the average age of death in the United States.
But
old people are dying at the natural age that they would normally die.
But if they put that little mark there, they get $30K.
You got to save Grandpa 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
They get $30K for every death.
100% they do. That's why people are dying on motorcycle accidents. They're saying, oh, he was coughing and that caused him to crash from the COVID.
And then you could say, well, that's fucked up what the hospital does, but is it? If you're going to throw $30K, I mean, there should be a board behind that checking it, right?
Bro, no one's dying.
But they want it marked as fucking COVID. They're almost paying you to market it as, well, they are. They're paying you to market it as COVID.
Bro, no one's dying from COVID.
Nobody's dying.
They're dying because they can't stop eating. They're dying because they abuse alcohol
or they
drugs.
Don't work out, or they don't take care of themselves.
Correct. Healthy people with no pre-existing conditions, man-made pre-existing conditions, are dying.
Correct.
That's the end of the story.
And
the military is the healthiest group of people that exist in the world.
And why is that, John?
Every single person that has to join the Army or the military has to go through a rigorous selection process where they have to be medically qualified. You can't be overweight to join the Army. You can't have a pre-existing condition and join the Army. Okay, so when you join the Army, you are healthy and in shape. You work out 5 days a week, mandatory. Those people are some of the healthiest people that you'll ever come across in your life, yet the military's vaccinating them when you can't join the Army if you're old.
Yep.
The people that are serving in the Army are from the ages of 18 to like 42, which is the healthiest category of people that exist. And they all exercise every day. They all have to eat right because they're held to a height and weight standard. If you're too fat, they'll kick you out. If you're too fat, you can't join. If you have a cancer or something wrong with you, I was a recruiter. I know this is the case. But they're going to force vaccinate people where the number of people dying in the military from COVID is now being surpassed by the number of people in the military dying from side effects from the vaccine.
Bro,
come on. When does it end?
Like you
and
said.
if you don't take the vaccine and you're in the military, they're going to kick you out with a dishonorable discharge. So let me get this correct. If there are people who have deployed 10 times, okay? SEALs, Special Forces operators, Army Rangers, Marine recon guys, Air Force combat controllers, all of these special operations guys who have done who knows what and God knows where for the American people. These people's families are destroyed. They don't see their kids' birthdays or Christmases. Like for the first 9 months of my child's life, I wasn't there for my first child. I was in Iraq, okay? Like fighting for this country. I'm never going to get those 9 months back of my life, right? They're forcing good people that have sacrificed everything for the country, for the military, and saying, we're going to kick you out now because you won't take this vaccine. And not only are we going to kick you out, but we're going to give you a dishonorable discharge on top of it. So you literally can't carry a gun. You can't use any of your VA rights. You don't get VA health care. You can't use a VA home loan. Your GI Bill is gone. You can't get a job doing anything serious anymore because you have a dishonorable discharge. You're essentially a piece of shit in the eyes of the government. Yet,
how could you give somebody fighting for the country a dishonorable discharge because they made a choice that you don't agree with?
Bro, they won't
that
take...
That is the...
They won't
I didn't know that.
A chemical that is not approved by the FDA. It's not approved by the FDA. It's approved by, through emergency order. It's not fully approved because they cannot approve a vaccine
5 years, right?
if there are treatments.
That's right.
That's why the treatments are going away. Because they can't have treatments available, because if the treatments work, then they can't approve the vaccine. It's so that is it.
I knew they were doing that, John, but I didn't know that they were doing that dishonorable
Hell
discharge.
Yeah, they are.
And as I told you, a very close friend of mine just passed away. And what the fuck? Wow.
Think about that, bro. Our nation's best people, and they're intentionally trying to screw them.
And my friend basically killed himself because he fought for our country.
Yeah.
And his mind was fucked up.
Yep.
And he had to supplement because he didn't get the right care when he came back.
Of course not.
He had to supplement with, it started with alcohol, and then he started mixing the alcohol, and I tried to help him, and, you know, I got him straight for a while. Yep. But, you know, those demons just keep coming back, and the memories that he had.
Yeah.
And that man fought like he was left in the middle of nowhere in some fucking country he didn't know for 2 months with a backpack and survived.
Yeah.
Fighting for us. And he came back and he didn't get the right help and he fucking died.
Yeah.
And for me just to think that and I know he would never take that thing. I know him.
Sure.
And if he would ever get a dishonorable discharge, he'd kill himself right then and there.
Yeah.
He would literally kill himself. I know the guy like the back of my hand. He would have literally walked out of here, like if he found that out and he said no and he couldn't work at the VA anymore or whatever it may be, he would have killed himself.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a freaking shame, man, because we're talking about some of the best people, selfless people that exist in this world.
Glenn, did you know that they were given dishonorable discharges for that?
Yep.
Wow.
Under
what's that?
Under personality disorders that were discharging people.
What the fuck?
Bro, they're getting rid of Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs just won a judgment in court to stay in without the vaccine. The Marine Corps approved how many religious exemptions, do you think? The entire Marine Corps. For people who have said, hey, I don't want to take the COVID vaccine because my religious beliefs prevent me from being able to do that.
From what you're saying, I'm going to have to say zero.
Yeah, zero. There were 0 Marines were approved for religious exemption, which means that they're going to get kicked out.
Wow.
Marines, man. Like, you mean to tell me in the entire Marine Corps, there's not one person that could qualify with a religious exemption? There's not one.
But for anything else, they qualify.
Of course.
Wow.
So what you're telling me is there is no exemptions. You're either getting this or you're getting out.
Yeah, there's no exemptions. That just sounds good.
You have to say that because...
Right, you have to.
Because you have to.
Otherwise, it's full control.
It's communism.
And even it's communism.
So when I was in Iraq, I got the anthrax vaccine, which I didn't want. And I fought to the last drop to not get it. Why did I get an anthrax vaccine? And I said this to them. I'm like, has there ever been an anthrax attack in the Middle East? No, there's not. Has anthrax ever been detected here? No, it hasn't. There's been a chlorine gas attack one time in the 80s, Saddam Hussein chlorine gassed his people. Why are we getting
this again?
Anthrax again? All of us?
They're throwing that here. They were sending it here, not
in
there.
envelopes.
From there.
I have a greater chance of then the postal workers should get it because they're the ones that are really dealing with it, not me.
Right.
There's no one in the Middle East passing anthrax.
They're trying to put it over here.
But bro, if I didn't get it, I was out.
Yeah, I know. I
just had to get it, and I hated it. God, I
would have too.
But you know what? I'm in Iraq, and I got it when I was in Iraq too, so it was even better. I'm like, oh great, this means I had to travel from somewhere. It was the government. They probably didn't do it right. It probably isn't traveling at the temperatures it was supposed to.
That's what I'd be thinking too.
Of course, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't transport it.
So who the fuck knows, right? If you don't do it yourself, you don't know.
Bro.
Just like your job.
It's the government. I'm almost certain that shit wasn't right.
I'm sure it wasn't.
It got to us.
I'm sure it did.
But I can't commit to saying it got there correctly.
I'm not a betting man, but I guarantee I would have to, if I was, I would bet it wasn't at the correct temperature.
Stored in the correct area.
And God knows where the hell it was manufactured.
He's like, hey, just get over here and get this shit, and so we can check the box.
Yeah.
Please don't be a little shit. Just do what you're told.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't be a pain in the ass. It'll be bad for you. I'm like, ugh.
All right, fuck it. Let's go. Let's just get it over with.
Jesus Christ, dude. Give me this bullshit I'm never going to need.
Yeah.
But hey, just in case there's an anthrax attack, dude, I'm good. He's good too. You're shit out of luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go over your website.
Yeah, man. Okay. Tucker.
So, Tucker. Again, congratulations. Big deal. So the website is bluelinemoving.net. That will be in the description. Does all kinds of stuff in the middle of updating the website, but does a lot of stuff. Instagram.
Instagram is where the story is told, bro.
The story is told on
That's
Instagram.
where all the videos are. That's where all the, the full video you can watch on there of the cowboy coming down the mountain. All things from Del Rio are on there. All my interviews are on there. Me walking up to the gate, talking to illegals crossing the border. That's Ron DeSantis. I got a Let's Go Brandon chant going when he was here in Palm Beach County. That's where Kimberly Guilfoyle, we showed up to move a piano for Kimberly and Don Jr. in the Let's Go Brandon shirts, and she about had a heart attack. She thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
She posted to her Instagram. She posted it, and then that was like nuts, man. People started calling my business, calling me a demon.
Oh,
yeah, the prank calls, the 1-star reviews on Google.
5 stars right there.
Yeah, 5-star reviews. But then the trolls started giving me 1-star reviews on Google because they know I have something to do with Trump.
That is badass, bro.
Yeah.
That is badass. That was a good move there. So you can get all the videos. The whole story is
That's the old truck there.
That's the
old ones, the white ones.
Bluelinemoving.
Yep. On Insta.
And then Facebook.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You get all the videos on there.
That's all. There it is. It's all on there. I got the Tucker Carlson
videos. Yeah. All kinds of awesome stuff. And then LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Bluelinemoving LLC.
Yep.
Follow you. And everything's there. Anything else, John?
That's really where, in our website, obviously, you can go to our website and you can actually, we've added a new feature where you can schedule your estimate through the website. You don't even have to talk to anybody. You can literally pull up our schedule.
Right here? So we're on the website right now. If you're listening, if you're watching, we'll do it. So
go to Instagram real quick. I'll show you.
Sure. So we go to Instagram.
It's cooler on Instagram. Go to that link right there. Right there.
Okay.
Follow the link. Yep. Boom. So now you can literally scroll down, see where it says schedule an estimate.
Wow, that's really cool.
So go to schedule an estimate.
Okay.
And now you just pull up the calendar and it tells you what times we have available, obviously it's the end of the month, so February. But it tells you what times are available, and then you click on the date. See right there, February 1st.
Yep.
Available time. Boom, you click it, and then it goes right to our calendar. And now we know we have a FaceTime estimate scheduled with you at this time.
That's awesome. If you're watching, you can see all the times available in real time. If you're listening, you go there, and wow, this was a good implement. This is really good.
And I just did that implement like 4 days ago, because the influx of people calling from the New York Post dude, we got a full page in the New York Post, bro.
Wow, bro, you were on Tucker Carlson.
But that wasn't the reason why we're in the New York Post.
What was the reason?
The reason I got in the New York Post was because I saw on Fox and Friends, again, a lady named Carol Markowitz who works for the New York Post, and she's a columnist for them and as a Fox News contributor. She was on Fox and Friends talking to Brian Kilmeade about how she's finally leaving New York City to move to Florida because she can't deal with the mandates anymore. So she's leaving. So I'm watching it. I'm like, well, she's moving. And Brian's like, well, how's Florida been? And she's like, well, I haven't moved yet. And I went, whoa, found her on Facebook, hit her with that message, didn't see it. And I'm like, I see that she posts, hey, watch me at 8 a.m. on Fox and Friends. I had like 4 comments. So I know that people get alerted when they get a comment. I knew when I sent her a private message, it probably went to spam. She never saw it. So I put in the comment, hey, my name is John Rourke. I have Bluelinemoving. Would love to move you to the land of freedom. Please check your messages. Checked her message and was like, oh my God, saw your company. Could you please do an estimate for us? She says yes. We move her from Brooklyn to Boca. When I show up to meet her, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I said, this is my company. I told her about the company. I was like, we did the cleanup in Del Rio. I've come out as a conservative business because the pop. She's like, has anyone ever did an article in a newspaper on you? I'm like, not that I'm aware of. No one's actually like sat down and did a story on me. She's like, I can't believe all the things that you've done. Like, I think we should do a story on you. And I was like, in the New York Post? She's like, yeah. And I'm like,
jackpot.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be like a little article on page 99, in the left corner, conservative moving company booming.
Right.
Couple of cents. Dude, it was a full page.
Congratulations, man. Not many people could say that.
And my birthday's on the 19th. It was on page 19, which is weird too. But it was a full page in the freaking New York Post. I could not believe it.
I don't know, Sadie, but congratulations, man.
Bro, then the New York Post article comes out, and then the news, like Neil Cavuto wants to have me on his show. The Rob Schmidt show with Carl Higbee on Newsmax. Saw the article. I got to have you on the show. John Bachman show, like Fox Business News, emailed me, said, hey, we saw your thing in the article. We'd like to do a story on you. Then what happened was, I'm getting a buddy of mine text me, a friend of mine in Texas. And he's like, bro, why is Glenn Beck sharing your story and putting this is how it's done on his page? I'm like, are you shitting me? I go to the Blaze Media, sharing my story, Glenn Beck sharing my story to his audience. And he's like, bro, you were blowing up. I was like, bro, I can't even believe this. Like,
I'm trying to get Glenn back in. I read his story. He's got one hell of his backstory.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah.
And the hustle he's been doing with getting people out of Afghanistan.
Oh yeah. I'm working on it now to try to get him in.
He shares my thing. I mean, Glenn Beck is
fuck yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer, bro.
Hall of Famer.
The jersey goes into the rafters for a guy like him.
I really liked him. I mean, he used to be. What was he on? He was on TV for a while.
He used to be on Fox News.
Fox News, and then he went radio.
Blaze Media.
Yep, Blaze Media. That's what I was trying to think.
And then he does the Blaze. Now he has the Blaze. He created that and created his own media.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a story.
Dude,
Ooh.
He's an interesting guy. I remember watching him way back in the day when he was on Fox.
Me too. I remember listening to him when I was driving cars in Manheim. I was driving for the auto auction.
For the auto auction.
Yeah, that's what I did when I was in high school, back and forth, and I listened to him and Stern.
Yeah, man. And now look at Stern, Jesus.
He changed.
God.
Money does that to you in New York and age, I guess. But still, Stern back in the day was the GOAT.
Oh, bro, he's the GOAT.
I mean, he paved the way for everybody.
100%. So it's been like now I did the New York, and that's how I got in the New York Post, and then it's all kind of been just going from there. And the cool thing about the New York Post and this next media wave was like, it was for my business, not for cleanup or something I did.
It was actually for what you do for a living.
Yes, that was what was so cool about it. And like to be able to work hard at my business and then be able to get my business on that kind of, I don't even know what the cost would be to get a full page article about your business in a New York Post would be.
A lot.
I got to imagine it's got to be tens of thousands of dollars probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the phone has not stopped ringing and the emails have not stopped coming. That's why I created that, because we were getting such an influx of emails from our website, like website inquiries, that I was like, we need a way to reach out to these people in the interim. Besides calling everyone back, there's so many, it's hard to call everyone back. And you know as well as I do, like these people want to move. It's you need to capture them now. You got to get them on the phone and whatever, or they'll find someone else. So I came up with the idea. I was like, dude, we need to put a link in our bio where they can go online and fill out all their information. So when we talk to them for the first time, this isn't the first time we're getting their info. We already have them in the system. It's like, so the next time I talk to you, it's time to look at your stuff. It's not, okay, where are you moving from? Where are you moving to? Do you have stairs? Do you have a long walk? You know what I'm saying? Does your building require a certificate of insurance? Like, it's all, we already have that information because they put it in themselves. And then they schedule their someone. We set up when the estimate time, I know who you are, where you're going, when you need to go there, and roughly how much stuff you have. And it's like, right now, show me your stuff. And boom, we're able to send the estimate out. So it worked. And then through that, the girls that work for me were able to find the ability to do this now and schedule your own estimate. So it made it even that much easier.
It is, yeah. I mean, your site's very easy. I didn't see this, but this is very good. Like, if you need to schedule, it's no headache at all.
I literally don't have, most people don't want to talk to people.
No, I don't want to talk to anybody.
No, just go online, schedule.
I just want to go on the fuck line. Somebody shows up, move the shit. What do I owe you?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what most people want.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what, too, now is changing is it used to be that way, but now people want a little bit more. They like the whole conservative thing, like coming out as conservative-owned moving company. People are now wanting to spend their money with people that align with their way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, if you spend your money with my company, you know I'm not donating for abortions, or, you know, I'm not donating to take away our freedoms. I'm donating to the NRA. I'm donating, you know, I'm using the money to donate to actual police departments in places where the police departments need money. Because, like Del Rio, Texas, you know what I'm saying? Like, that police department, that sheriff's office, is overrun. They're literally building a temporary jail in the parking lot of the police station because there's nowhere else to put people.
Unfucking
Bro, there's no food in the food banks. Like, man. Americans can't get food from food banks because the illegals are getting it. Bro, I talked to a lady. The sheriff was taking me to a place where it's private property, where only Border Patrol can have access to this property, where a lot of people, it's a ranch, that a lot of illegals come onto this ranch. So they're constantly sending buses in and out of this person's property. It's on a dead-end road. So at the end of the dead end is a gate. You drive through that gate, you're on this dude's ranch. The house that's next to that gate is a lady. So he took me down to this gate. We didn't go on the property, turned around. As we're coming, making a U-turn, three-point turn, to go back down, the lady's walking out with her kids to the mailbox. And the sheriff rolls the window down and says, "Hey, how's it going, ma'am? How's everything?" And she's like, "Is everything okay? Like, is everything all right over there? Like, what do you know, the cops are here." And he's like, "Oh, no, everything's good. I'm just showing this gentleman around." She walks up to the door, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Oh, hey, he's from Florida. He's coming here to do a garbage cleanup." And she's like, "Really? That's pretty good. You know, thank you so much for doing that. That's amazing." Whatever the case, you know, just having a conversation. And then he's like, "So when's the last time you saw someone?" He's like, "We just had one last night. A guy was banging on our neighbor's window at 3 a.m. in his underwear saying, 'You got to let me in your house. They're going to kill me.' So that's all." So they got to wake their kids up and all of that. Some guy in his underwear slamming on their sliding glass doors at 3 a.m. saying, "They're going to kill me. You need to let me in your house." She's like, "You know, Sheriff, I really want to move from here, but I just cannot sell my home. I love it here, but I can't have we can no longer camp in our backyard. We used to put the tent out there with my kids and camp. Can't do that anymore. I can't leave any kind of thing, anything worth of value in the backyard because they'll get stolen. I wake up, you know, to people sleeping in our backyard, you know, pooping, maxi pads, tampons, all over the place. They shit, they piss in my yard. They go through your stuff." She's like, she's like, and I'm a liberal, okay, but I'm also an American, and I can't do this anymore. Like,
and I think we're seeing that a lot.
She's like, "What am I supposed to do?"
We're seeing that a lot. A lot of liberals.
I'm worried for my kids.
Yeah, a lot of liberals, and there's nothing wrong with being a liberal. It's just that, you know, they're starting to see that they want America back.
She goes, "I feel bad for these people. It breaks my heart to see the kids and these people." That's right.
That's my thing.
She goes,
I'll cut it out.
She goes, "But I can't have my kids outside in my own home that I pay taxes on, that I spent working my ass off, my husband, to be able to buy a home. And now," she goes, "when Trump was the president, This shit didn't go on.
No.
There weren't people in my backyard taking a dump.
Or
knocking on windows at 3 a.m. saying, people are going to kill me. You need to let me in your house. She goes, it wasn't happening. And you know what? I think he's a prick, is what she was saying. But it wasn't like this.
And you're hearing that more and more and more. Dude, because now it's like, okay, Trump was a prick. He couldn't stay off Twitter. People are saying that. I'm not saying, I'm just saying generally speaking.
100%.
And now they're like, you know what? We'll take the Twitter fingers.
What's wrong with being a prick?
Bring him back, right?
I love a prick.
Me too.
Right? Like, at least he calls it how he sees it, right?
I mean,
like,
at least he's a real fucking dude, and he never fucking changed.
Bro.
That's what I like so much about him, that he was him.
How could you not like it?
I don't know. I think you got to be fucked up in the head not to like it.
He's just who he's always been.
And everybody liked it because you could relate to him.
Yes, man.
Even if you didn't like him, you had to. Even if you didn't like him, you watched his rallies.
Yes.
So that means deep down, you knew the guy was doing a great job. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put it on. And he was killing ratings.
Bro, come on.
I mean, the fucking.
You know how CNN is still in business without him.
They'd probably, well, you know.
He was their business.
Yeah.
He's still their business. Like, they need ratings. They talk about Trump.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they'll come up with the next one.
The problem, dude, he calls it how he sees it, man.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, you need a businessman running the biggest business in the world. You need guys that invite leaders of countries to Mar-a-Lago and then say, hey, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. And when they come back, they whisper in your ear that they just took out Soleimani in Iran.
That's right.
And you're the president of China. Yep. And Donald Trump sits down next to you and says, I just wanted to let you know that we took out Soleimani in Iraq.
What are you going to do?
And the president of China looks at him and goes, bro, you just did that while we were waiting for ice cream? What the
He's a beast. He's a beast. He's a fucking beast.
That is exactly how the fuck you do it.
You ain't lying. I think we leave it at that, because that is how you fucking do it. And I just gotta say, I gotta add on to that, the Rocket Man thing. I was rooting. I said, that's a fucking man right there.
Hell,
that's a man.
Yeah.
No one else would do that. No one else would go meet that guy face to face.
Bro, the Secret Service is like, you're a fucking maniac.
And he said, I don't give a fuck.
If they kill me, they kill me. But I'm doing what I believe is the way it needs to be done to end this shit.
Because he knew, because he's a fucking businessman.
Yes.
And he knew that he would get respect by coming by himself. No matter what he said, he came by himself like a fucking man and sat down at the table.
When people's lives are on the line, do you do it via a Zoom meeting? Or do you go meet a person in their face and hash that shit out?
The way I was raised, the way you were raised, and him, I know, just from sitting with you, you talk face to face.
You're damn right. There is no other way.
And that's how you end it.
That is the only way to end it.
It's the only way to end it.
Any other way is not right.
That's right. You go face to face, which he did more than once with guys that he was making fun of. But
Hell yeah.
But he went there like a man, and they respected him, and everybody cooled down.
Yeah. He went in there. You can just see the body language. And there's nothing new. It's like I'm always doing something. Bro, I stay skinny because I don't eat.
I think I ate at like 1.
Bro, me too. Like, at half the time, I don't even eat for lunch. I'll go home and I'm like, it's the first thing I'm eating. It's 7 o'clock. My wife's like, Jesus Christ, why? Why are you doing that? I'm like,
I hear this.
I'm just too busy. I don't have time to go get a sandwich. Like, dude,
they don't understand. Like every 10 minutes counts. You know,
I want to eat.
So do I.
I'm fucking starving right now, right? But the show must go on. This right here is more important than me getting a meal. I'm gonna eat some point. I'm gonna get food in my stomach.
Right. Like we're not gonna die in the next 5 minutes.
We're not.
Right. And we came to do a job, and we're doing a job. And when it's done, it's done.
Listen, man. I have a goal, man, with my business. Like I want to make my business a franchise. I want to open up a storage unit. Like.
They're big, man.
I know. I want to do these things. I want to bring investors in to take my business to the next level where I know it can be. And the only way to do that is to do things like this, is to get out, talk about your business, meet different people, let people understand who you really are and what you're about. And then that's when they'll make the decision whether or not they think that you're worthy of investing in. Like, this is who I am. Any investors that want to be out there, like, I didn't wear this hat
for your health.
For the show. Like, I wear this hat every single day at work. I go in the customers' homes. I don't know their political affiliation, but I know this. It's fuck Joe Biden, and it's 24/7, 365 for me. And if you don't like it, you can, in the moving terms, pack your shit and hit the road, bro.
And it's your choice.
It's so much your choice, man.
And if I have a B hat on and I say, hey, who cares about this? You're a great company.
Yeah.
I want you.
Yes, man. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to steal your shit.
Right.
My guys are not going to go through your wife's drawers. My guys are not going to steal things from you.
Or sniff my girl's panties or some shit that I heard people do.
Bro, they're not going to do that shit. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just, the respect between myself and my employees is there. I respect them totally, and I trust them totally, and I know they're going to do the right thing. And whether you believe in what I believe in or not, ultimately you just want your personal items, which you've worked your fucking ass off to buy, not get destroyed or get stolen. And you want to know the company you're hiring is not going to do those things. And I'm telling you, I'm not, and we're not ever going to do those things.
And if anybody doubts it, believe me, you would never have a chance. I don't care if you cleaned up the world. You wouldn't be on Tucker and the 7 other places you've been on and a full page in the New York Post if you were doing shit like that. Because believe me, having that kind of hat on and the way you talk,
yeah,
they would dig up any dirt they could on you to bury it.
100%. And
there ain't nothing.
That's right, bro.
I spent 5 hours researching it last night.
Yeah.
I still got 3 more pages that we didn't get to, so I can talk you into I got to talk you into part 2.
Oh, come on,
but I'm saying, great. But I went through everything.
Yeah,
not one bad thing.
Yeah,
and
man.
Believe me, they dug. I guarantee you, they dug and dug and dug to discredit you.
Yeah,
you know it.
But you got to understand something. When I tell people, it's hard to discredit somebody when they're doing something good. Are you going to really talk bad about me? I literally pulled people out of a freaking river. And I'm anti that shit.
Well, what about Baltimore? You could have just walked away and been like, hey, they're on my way. I got shit to do. You went and you helped save their fucking life.
Yes, man, because I'm a normal freaking human being who cares about other human beings,
and there's
bro.
no dirt to dig up on you. There is none.
Dude, listen, man. Are you going to dig up dirt on me from when I was in my 20s? Like, oh, he was with that girl, or he was drunk that night and you got into a fight with somebody. Who cares? I'm a normal dude, man. I'm not ripping people off. I'm not doing bad stuff.
If you want something moved, you do it nationwide.
Yes.
You go with you, no matter whatever you are, because you know it's going to get there, and I guarantee you, you will not find one bad thing about your company.
The guys that pick up your stuff are the same guys that are going to drop your stuff.
And that's a huge fucking deal. Because
it is a big deal.
I've moved plenty of times, and very rarely is it the same one that picks it up that delivers it. And that goes for cars, too. I've moved a lot of cars. And
yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I gave the car to this guy in PA. I'm in fucking Florida. I thought he was coming here and had a couple drops, and I see a guy named Fred when I gave the car to John.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, like, what the fuck?
It's the same. I mean, and that's the truth. But
I can understand.
And the same thing too is like we deliver en route. Like we pick your stuff up. We're gonna have your stuff to you, and like depending on where you're at, whatever the days of driving is, like the next day after that. Whereas most moving companies pick your stuff up,
they drag it out,
they offload it into a warehouse until they can combine it with a bunch of other people's shit. Then they put everyone's shit on that truck, and then 3 weeks later they give you a window. It could be 7 to 21 day business days. You might not get your stuff for literally for a month.
Or like, I had to pay every single time when I moved the car or furniture.
Yeah.
If I wanted it, say, in a week, I would have to pay much extra.
No, dude, bullshit. That's bullshit, man.
Every single time, because they would say, "Well, we don't have enough cars going to Florida right now. You know, maybe 3 weeks." I'd say to the guy, "Look, I need a fucking car.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna walk around in Florida. Florida isn't fucking Pennsylvania or wherever.
Yeah,
I need a fucking car. It's 95.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I mean,
yes.
How much to get it here in 7 days? And it was like literally $500 more to get. And $500 is $500, especially now.
Yeah, man.
You know,
it's like $550.
Yeah. I want to read your favorite quote before I schedule you to come back. Yeah. John's favorite quote: "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction." I should have had you read this because I can't pronounce shit. "We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free." Ronald Reagan.
You're damn
That's
right.
a hell of a quote. That's why I copied and put it.
You're damn right. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. If more people thought that way, we would be in a better damn country than we are now. That's for freaking fact, bro.
Congratulations, John. You're an honorable man.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, man.
You're
Same
doing
to
great things, and I hope you come back again.
Dude, I'm just trying.
I got a lot more, man.
I just want to do the right thing, man.
Yeah,
That's
you are. The right thing is to come back again.
Let's do it. I'm down.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
Love it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
I'll see you in part 2 whenever that's coming. Coming soon, hopefully.